Yeah. Oh, we are live. It says we are live. Let's see.
Uh,
Hi guys, if you can hear me, please drop a CFBR so I know if I should start. Jamie, are we there? Are we there yet? Oh yes, we are there.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
there. Yes, yes. Sahil is already saying everyone is waiting for Shweta. So okay, no, this is a different Shweta. Okay, okay. Hamisha is there. Hi. So this is a Friday stream. We don't do this very often, but I've had a weird week, so I can barely sit right now. But let's do this. If you can hear me properly, say so in the chat. People sometimes complain about my gear or lack of it. So, but as you can see, इतना ही budget है अभी आज का दुनिया में. Pushkar is here. Hello, hello, hello. Hi. All the usual suspects are here. तो सत्संग शुरू करते हैं आज का बिना किसी स्टैम्पीड के. पहले CFBR का नारा लगाइए भक्तजनों. Not many updates from Guruji's side this time. It's just two shows in Mumbai. If you're here, please do come Saturday, which means tomorrow. I'm doing a show in Andheri after ages because who goes to Andheri anymore? But I will tomorrow. And then Powai on Sunday. Both are different shows. Come for the one, you not come for the link is there in the description. Then we are doing an online show next Saturday. Yes, so you can join in from anywhere. And it's Saturday night, so even people in North America can come. And that's it. No more plans. One show in September in Bangalore, but that's far away. उसके अलावा plan नहीं है. I need to recover from all the hustling that I've been doing. So with enough people in, we can start for today. People who joined in today on a Friday, thank you very much for coming. You saved your liver some damage by being here. It's a totally sattvic stream. थोड़ा गाली वाली देंगे, but that's about it. Jamie, are you there with us? नहीं, he's not there. Guys,
हाँ हाँ
apparently
हाँ
even
बोलो.
Jamie has a life now. We क्या कर सकते हैं? People move on eventually in life. What can you do? Okay, people are saying they can hear properly. Uh, और कौन है? Raja is here. M. Firoz is here. Radhe is here. All right, great. So, guys, today we have a guest who's been here before on our Esteem channel. She is a fellow comic. She is a senior comic, more senior than Guruji for sure. And she's done it all that is to be done in comedy and beyond. Recently, she's come back from across the world, in fact, like Eastern, Western, Southern, Northern, all hemispheres she's covered. She's been into film festivals. She's done shows in New York. She's done I don't know what all. Like I actually just wanted to catch up with her anyway. I thought, why not do it here on YouTube live with you guys? And she has a lot to share from her adventures abroad, guys. Please welcome with a round of applause. Very funny, Aditi Mittal. Yes.
अरे धन्य हो हमारे आपका
अरे
पुण्य पुण्य साहब आपका पुण्य
अरे
सत्संग में
अरे
हमारा नमस्कार गई
नमस्कार
सबको
नमस्कार नमस्कार
सबको
नमस्कार हाँ बैठ जाइए नो नो स्टैम्पीड बैठ जाइए बैठ जाइए Oh fuck! You actually have a gunty, dude. That's so funny. And yeah, and you got your lighting is on point.
thanks
Yeah.
I
All
got
right.
a ring light because
Yeah.
I was actually checking my dog's ticks so I put on the ring light for closer inspection and then I
Oh.
said might as well use it for the satsang.
Oh my. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good use for it. I like the 80s aesthetic at the back. The
Yeah, yeah. This is my house. Please.
I say it's not aesthetic shit.
No. There's nothing aesthetic about any place that I'm sitting down in. I make
And
sure of that.
yeah, this nice. What is written on the cupboard? पे क्या लिखा है?
Shut up. This was when I was in my inspo era. It says,
Inspo.
if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space.
Space. Ooh.
And then the other one was, if not now, then when? If not me, then who?
Wow. This is
Huh?
and when was this inspo era?
This was Listen, this was Inspo era prior to like Ranveer show. Okay, like
Okay.
this was prior to Beer Bartley having a podcast. So
So
let
is it
let
like,
me tell you.
is it CCD days? Is it that far back?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh man. Oh
It
shit.
is CCD days. Yes, yes.
Yes. Oh shit. Purani jeans or guitar. Those
Wait,
days.
shit. Dude, okay, do you remember your first show, Puni?
Yeah, because it was very dramatic. So I remember. So
Why was it dramatic?
I went to this one, no, a Prithvi Cafe, no, where comics are not really welcome. And me being me, I did domestic violence cassette वो time पे भी in my very first performance. So
Is
you
it
heard?
because of you that none of us can fucking perform there?
No, they just hate us in general. Like everybody is tried, no. So including
Yeah, fair
Zakir,
enough.
but I don't think they're too snobbish for this. What was your first show? Very first show? Was it
My
the
first
canvas?
show, no, it was at Cafe Goa, yet another
Ah.
illegal construction in Bandra, um, where
Yeah.
in spite of how great my jokes were, the roof did not fall.
Oh.
Dude, and it was one of those where I got a good laugh at my first joke, which was about my dad. My dad is so Punjabi that he doesn't say Goldilocks and the three bears. He says Goldilocks and the three beers. And then it makes sense because Goldilocks was so drunk she had to lie down on their beds and all that. That was my my first fucking this thing. He doesn't say comfortable, he says comfort chair. Some horrible shit like this, which the audience should have nipped in the bud, but then my entire career is their fault.
You heard that one, no? In Punjabi audience में comic says, please give me a chair, और वो लोग कुर्सी फेंकता है उसके ऊपर.
Genius!
Yes, the
Genius!
classics.
Genius!
Was Rohini hosting this show?
Yes! Yes, it was Rohini. I'm telling you, I always feel like Rohini is the godmother of stand-up comedy, okay? Because
Yeah.
she could have easily like stopped half the careers in place, been like, you should stop trying. But she didn't. A very kind, like wonderful soul.
Yeah, and have you seen Rohini in a second coming now as like Viral Bhayani Part 2? And she's like all over Bollywood every day. Have you seen her for
Yeah,
season? Yeah,
dude. Dude,
yeah,
now she is because now she's also like in a very high up position in
yeah,
her
yeah,
radio
yeah,
station, no? So they have to
yeah,
do like Bollywood content.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But she's in defense of Bollywood content. She's also like that channel that her radio station focuses on the golden era of Bollywood, not the fucking shit that happened post 2005,
So
but like
what is
the like
golden era is what 90s? No.
obviously,
Yeah,
obviously, yeah, 80s, 90s, dude. All the tropes were built in the 80s and 90s.
80s was shit. No, nahi?
Yeah. Himmat Wala was an 80s film. Just saying. I don't know why I know that.
You know, I sometimes think now when you look at the 80s and all films, or even 70s, some of them when you look at this, rank corruption everywhere. And everybody's corrupt. फिर उसको वो ना जज को मार देता है, फिर witness को मार देता है. And it's funny now, but you think in that era this was also decent, like 'cause that was happening probably, in India,
Yeah.
that level of corruption. So was it
Yeah.
not decent? Like now it looks funny in hindsight.
There's this author called Sohini Chattopadhyay, and
Yeah.
she won like a national award recently for like film criticism or something like that, right? But she had this very interesting essay about how she's like Bollywood has actually always toed the government line. Even you see even the rise of the angry young man technically was like an all ये मतलब जज को खून कर दिया वैसा केस के बाद वो they are coming down the stairs और किसी को गोली लग गई
Yeah.
were things that were happening avidly during that time, but it was always that time we had also the underworld, no, the
Yeah.
underworld was a thing, and so everything,
Yeah.
obviously the bad guy was the underworld, and then our angry young man aided by a very lackadaisical police would somehow save the day.
So which means what? Like they were glorifying the underworld, like actively.
No, I think they were the opposite, where they were like, you have the power to fucking fight against the underworld. Because one angry young man, जिसको मतलब उसको गोली भी नहीं लगती, he's for some reason always
But they were
alive.
still towing that line at some level. ऐसा हुआ.
Yeah.
Mm. I'll just acknowledge the people in the chat, and there's so many things I want to ask you, but just quickly before that, Hemisha is here, Dhwanit Patel, Doug Stanhope is here, Aditi.
Yes. Hello, Dougie.
Shivam Sharma is here. So, guys, we're gonna dive right in. Aditi, what the fuck have you been into? Like, you've been to Japan and US in the same year. How did that happen? Because if not
Dude,
now, then when?
when? If not me, then who?
Wh- So,
Dude,
the first question is: does Japan actually exist, or is just like a illusion?
let's be honest, it doesn't exist. We all have collectively made up Japan by talking about it. We as a globe have manifested Japan because that is the only explanation for that fucking
Yeah.
country. Like, it is wild. Okay, Japan is the. So, first I get one email, okay, and email me, there is not a single full stop. It just looked like a wall of text, okay. So, I'm like, ye to AI generated scam email hi hoga. So, I delete. Then, next day again, I get the same email, same wall of text, but this time there are full stops. And I was like, look, somebody's been making an effort, it
Yeah,
seems.
yeah, yeah.
But then I realized I sometimes eat in front of the laptop, so actually those full stops were dal ka cheetahs.
What?
But but I figured it started making sense. It started making so this guy was like, "Do you want to come to Japan to judge a comedy show?" And so I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I know a little bit about comedy, and I'm very good at judging things. Or like I'm very judgmental. We're Indian, dude. Call me to judge a foreigner. I do it from the comfort of my home. You know what I'm saying? I'm Palki Sharma's biggest fan. So then I go, dude, and I do lots of research and all. Ki, like, what is Japanese comedy about? मैं ऐसा Duolingo पे मतलब I just wore out that owl doing like
Yeah.
mise and fucking sushi. And then I go, and I'm not prepared. Okay, for what?
Mm.
I hope no one from Japan is watching this because so they don't have stand-up comedy per se. They have something called manzai, which is a
Okay.
two-person act,
Yeah.
right? That is the equivalent of stand-up comedy in Japan. And like how we have on comedy nights with Kapil, Esa, some dude comes out dressed as a woman,
Yeah.
then another dude comes out dressed as
Yeah.
an actual dude. Like that they have, okay?
So they're all TV shows. It doesn't happen live.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it does happen live as well.
Huh.
But this is sort of like TV show. This was for a TV show specifically. Name of
Okay.
the show was Global Comedian, and the idea was that do Japanese comedians have what it takes to be a global comedian?
The short
Okay.
answer is I got it. Yes.
देखो हम सत्संग जैसे भगवान वाली बातें करते हैं.
Oh man.
So
So okay.
I do my
So we
research and all. I go and I'm dressed like a fucking peacock. Okay, I wear this full ghagra choli and all. Like I was like, how dare you slot me into an Indian? Because I will show you how I will slot myself into an ऐसा bindi, हाथ पालकी, ऐसा माथा टीका,
oh shit.
everything short of fucking Bharat behind me. I went dressed for this judging thing. Okay. Then first act starts, okay. And first act was, and there were 10 acts, and they had sort of reduced the number. There was me, there was one comic from the US, there was one
Yeah.
comic from South Africa, there was one comic from South Korea,
These are
from
the
Korea.
judges. The judges. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And then there are 10 Japanese acts. So Paila act starts, it's called The Changing Room, and it's a skit. So he walks in, there's a man waiting in a shop like this, then he walks in and he says, oh, excuse me, can I have pants or something like that? The guy's like, okay, why don't you go try them on? And then he goes and tries them on. There's this tiny changing room, and then he goes and tries them on. And it's okay, are you ready? And then he pulls the curtain back. But actually, it's the guy's ass,
Oh,
to the fucking can, and the pants are around his ankle. Get it? They're not
yeah.
fitting. Get it?
Wow.
Then
This.
that happens for 7 more minutes, okay? Where it is it's just ass, and it's not changing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, oh, now it's an ass, now it's, his dick is out, now his tit is out. Like, there was no progression. It was just ass, and the
In
same
different
pose.
combinations. No.
Yeah, no, not even. Just it was ass, and I like first time I was like, hey, I laugh easily. I was like, ha, bums, ha. Then I was like, second time I was like, oh, maybe they're going somewhere with this. Then I like 4 minutes and I was like, fuck, I don't think they're going anywhere with this. And then I realized that somebody told me that one of the things about Japan also, Japanese comedy, is also that they do the same thing over and over and over and over and over, and people find it funnier and funnier. And because I was looking at the audience, studio audience was going mad, dude. They were going, I'm telling you, I was confused. American was there for the ride. He's like, fantastic, amazing, I was confused. And like one chutia, okay. I mean, sorry, like this thing, when I went and I gave, we were supposed to give feedback. Dude, my problem was I'm sincere. This is what I have realized. I would stop doing this bullshit of where I'm like, I was like, hey, maybe you could do something different. The second time that the curtain opens, maybe your ass is not out, maybe something else is out, like that.
Yeah.
Maybe you could end on a punchline, aisa karke. And then they're doing some translation, and then the host goes, yeah, maybe it's a cultural difference.
Ooh.
I was like, yeah,
Ooh.
it's definitely a cultural difference because in my culture, we laugh at the end of a joke when the punchline comes. But clearly in this culture, wow, okay, I'm going to stop. But it was an interesting
is
experience.
this going live on TV? Like all this ass business? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they're very okay with like ass and tits to a certain extent. Like one of the jokes was this girl with like massive balloons in her top. And then one pops, and then she's just roaming around with this other one. And this was happening on primetime television. Like it was happening on it was happening on what I think is the equivalent of their like
we hear that
state
in all
TV.
the porn, they always blur stuff. So
As if like मेरे को तो नहीं पता. I'm so coy. I've never seen one before.
It's so different. And how many episodes
so,
did it do?
Only one episode. Only one episode because it was like it was like a tentpole episode of like their comedy series or whatever. Dude, one thing though that I am realizing is that like it is so interesting. I think we are also very socialized into the Western American style of comedy or style of joking.
Okay.
And actually most thoughts also, we think in a certain way. Whereas Japan, dude, it's like living in a fucking 12D world with 36D glasses on, okay? You're not fucking prepared. You're not prepared.
But are they polite, as we heard? Like they're like painfully polite. Yeah.
Yeah. Just they are talking shit about you behind your back for sure. For sure.
So there's Hamza Harun has said in the chat, Aditi, you were absolutely funny on Hasi. So Fasi, you would love to hear your experience. I'm sure it would have been extremely hard to control, especially being among the many comics. Oh, this was that Big Boss style game show, right? तुम क्या किया है last few years में dude? What the fuck?
Look, we had just come out of the pandemic, okay? I was terrified to do online shows. So I was doing Haan Se To Phase.
Yeah.
Cyrus was
there,
right? Yeah. Cyrus was in it. What's his name? Suresh was in it. Adar was in it. There was what's her name? There was a bunch of Kusha Kapila was in it.
And who won, if at all that matters? Who won that?
I can't remember.
It's okay. You got your money, right? Yeah, that's it.
So, no, but you know what? To answer your question, Hamza, it was a great experience. Like, first of all, to pehle, when we were going in, they were like, we were all like preparing in our heads, like, what do we say to make the other person laugh and all this stuff, right? And then when you go in, you realize that nothing that you have planned is executable. Nothing. Okay. The moving parts were far too many. And it was just a really, also I'd never seen anything produced on that scale, like a comedy show. I think it's ironically, it's a Japanese show. LOL is actually, it's originally a Japanese show, and then they translated it. They did an Australia version, and then they did an Indian version. And in fact, the Australia version is disgusting. Like the guy who won shits, on a sheet of glass. And that's when I think the second last person cracks, where he's just shitting, and then you can see his shit like on like a sheet of glass above you.
If only you had known that this is a Japanese show, we could have just shown some asses and you would have won.
It doesn't take much.
So, I'm not sure if Jamie is with us, but he wanted to ask you if you went to the famed maid cafes of Japan. There are maid cafes. Have you heard of those?
No, what is that?
So there are cat cafes, right, in Japan, and there are owl cafes.
Yes.
Now there are maid cafes where you will get like a maid service, like a Victorian era maid kind of service, like so she'll come dressed prim and proper, right, and she'll pamper you in not, I wouldn't say sleazy, but in a provocative kind of a way.
Yeah.
Because they're polite also at the same time. So.
Oh shit! I didn't even know this. I was going to all the museum of poop and all. I realized that my areas
What?
of interest.
There's a museum of poop.
Dude, you know, it
What?
is so incredible to me that this culture is so obsessed with shit that they're the ones that came up with the first poop emoji. You know what I'm saying? That like they
Ah,
thought that poop was something important enough that you don't even need to write the word anymore. You just can fucking visually represent it.
yeah.
And it's smiling. It's a smiling little pile of shit. Um, and this museum of poop has a turd at the entrance. And then you walk in, and then you see like the various toilets, through the ages in Edo, which is like even before Japan was Japan, it was called
Yeah.
Edo, the kingdom of it. You can see how people used to take shits.
Do they
Then there's a
have a
whole
cafe?
might as well. Coffee makes you take a good poop. Uh,
Oh
just
man.
oh
You can't have a softie in that cafe, no? Like it'll be too much. So it's about pooping like the whole because see there is Sulabh Shauchalaya Museum in Delhi for people who want to go.
it's time. I'm putting that on my fucking list immediately.
Yes, it's a little out of the way, but it's nice again. Like like throughout history, कि पहला ऐसा in क्या in Indus Valley how they used to go, then how the kings used to go, and then cut to Sulabh Shauchalaya.
Dude, in fact, I remember the one thing I remember about Indus Valley Civilization chapter was Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, and also that Indus Valley Civilization was the first one in
Yeah,
history to have a sanitation system.
yeah,
And can you imagine? And we're still casteist fucks
yeah,
who,
yeah. And
who want human beings to do it.
but then those guys were not Hindu as we understand it today. No, it was pre-Vedic culture.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so unless somebody wants to debate that also, you never know these days.
आ जाएंगे वो
Yeah.
Jay Sainath को बस you have to say something from far away and he'll get alerted and show up. Give
वो तो क्या संजय दीपक you mean that one S Sai Deepak that's the guy that's his
हाँ
name okay.
S Sai Deepak, sorry,
S
yes, you're
Sai
right.
Deepak yes Brahmanism rocks yes so,
Oh, S you say.
so we got over 100 people watching but you all have not clicked the like button तो कब करोगे भाई लोग कर लो so that we can move ahead Hamza is still here she's saying Gaurav Gera won that show in
Yes,
that season but I swear
Gaurav.
Aditi thought that you did smile you did not smile at all she's saying to your credit.
I tried. Dude, also Gaurav Gera is wildly funny, dude.
Yeah,
Gaurav
yeah,
Gera is
yeah, yeah.
wildly funny. What a he's got that like soft boy energy. Like he's got the thing that the kids nowadays call Pookie, where he's like he's just a cute little Pookie. That's what Gaurav Gera is.
Also, no, this guy, Menon also is very funny, right? With or
Yeah,
without props.
yeah. Menon is very, very funny. Menon is unhinged. Menon is one of those where you're like, how do they let him just roam on the street like that? Like, why aren't there four people just filtering for him? Or like being like, Bhai sahab, nahi, don't mind, ye pagal hai. Like, Menon is
Do,
one of those people.
do you remember, like slightly after the Inspo era, there was this a podcast called Kand Masti. Remember that? There was a
Oh my God.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
It was so funny, dude. Like before podcasts were podcasts, right?
Yeah.
It was him and who was one more
Jose.
person. No? Jose, oh
Him
yeah,
and
Jose
Jose.
was there. Yeah, fucking legends, dude.
So funny they are.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
Jose right now, his reels are just freaking brilliant. Yeah. I
yeah,
hate
yeah.
it.
Hey, how does he make money now? Like they do ads like with the
Jose.
reels. Yeah,
Yeah, in all likelihood, no.
yeah, because what must be hosting shows, I guess.
I mean,
Because
yeah, dude, yeah, for sure. I mean, the live show market, as you know, my friend, you can, like, I mean, influencers do, live shows. And I'm like, I always wonder what they're doing in the show. But then it's a lot of them just showing up and like waving, and like the
yeah,
audience
yeah,
is like, oh my God, I've seen you on my phone and now you're here in person. Let me put you
yeah.
back on my phone by taking a picture of you.
Yeah, I think they just say "What's up, Mumbai" 15 times and they leave.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, one person who I love also. I think she's a fucking, like, she's a baller. Lily Singh, okay?
yeah,
I was watching the first YouTube fest ever, okay? I was watching that. I remember I was like I was sitting in some office. I don't even know who wanted to employ me. But I was sitting in some office late at night or whatever, working late, and the two speakers of the phone, of
yeah,
the computer. Children in old days, we used to use full computer. There used to be a big CPU and all, but that's not now. The
yeah,
two speakers are lying next. The moment she walks on stage, the audience screamed so loudly, my speakers fell off.
Ooh.
My speakers fell off.
Yeah.
And
He
then
was
she did
that big,
What's
right?
Up Mumbai. Then she
Yeah.
did a little bit of a dance. Then What's
Yeah.
Up Mumbai. And then she left.
Yeah. There you go.
And I was like, fucking incredible. Incredible.
Because there are influencers in Delhi who tried doing live shows, okay, and it just ended up being 1 hour of saying, "आप बताइए क्या चल रहा है आपका, आप क्या कर रहे हो, अच्छा आप क्यों नहीं बताते?" And then thank you guys. And still in the reel, they look like a superstar, like slow
Yeah.
motion, waving everybody. So
Dude,
remember
at
there was
0.3x, everything looks amazing.
yeah, and you remember in the, like Punjabi music scene is kind of similar where random people go viral because of auto tune, right? And they can't
Yeah.
sing to save their life in a local train also, but they're getting all these shows, right? So half the game is looking like you're somebody important. So they'll hire like bouncers and shit, and they'll have groupies. And उनका टेक राइडर also वो पहले आएंगे नहीं सांप को अभी डिस्टर्ब नहीं करने का फिर सांप चश्मा पहन के खड़ा है ऐसा ये सब and they will have 3 opening acts like singing random songs. He'll come at the end, sing the song, one song that he's popular for, and he'll fuck off. वहां पे.
Hey, listen, by the way, speaking of that, Puneet, you are not a speak to my manager kind of person.
No, no,
How are you? Because you know what, you're right, that it's all about the
it is. Yeah,
impression, right?
yeah,
Ki whatever you project, people assume
yeah,
you are.
yeah.
How has it been for you
It's difficult,
navigating that space?
difficult because I always assume that even if with the show shine, I managed to get a show, who are impressed because I'm a star. That won't be a good show, right? That won't be a good show for someone like me to do because the kind of material I do doesn't match up to that kind of audience. So I'm sure I lost business over the years, but it's too fake, been too fake. And I feel job छोड़ के ये सब करेगा तो फिर stand up का, because stand up is about being real, right?
Yeah.
This is so opposite of what we thought stand up would be. But in this country, I think everything becomes a sham only. So remember, Vipul has that in one of his web series, no, that his manager picks up,
Yeah.
right? So even before that series, Naveen Polishetty had the same set that he used to do live. That I play my manager, and he's a great actor, so like he would fucking destroy with that set, like with different voices and all, picking up as Naveen's manager, and it works. So then, Jamie picks up some of my like calls. So, but the thing is, then he plays too hardball, and I'm like, उतना औकात नहीं है अपना.
ले जितना दे
हाँ,
ले
या जो आ रहा है वो भी चला जाएगा. ही प्लेज हार्ड, नहीं उनके पास टाइम नहीं है सबके लिए वापस मेल नहीं करने का हम लोग को. हम लोग इतना नहीं.
I love it,
So,
Jamie. You carry that on, okay? Keep that energy going. Keep that energy going, Jamie.
he's Gen Z, no, he's Gen Z. He
Ah.
hasn't seen CCD in his
CCD days, yeah.
in his heydays. Oh, tell me about the book, dude. Like you are one of the authors on the book. Yeah. Please show.
So please, can I? This is the book.
Yes, yes.
And thank you for letting me, guys. I would like to offer a copy of this book to anyone on the live stream right now.
Great.
Puneet will decide. Puneet will decide.
Yeah, I decide. Oh no.
Yeah. But let me tell you about the book. It's called Democracy: 11 writers and leaders on what it is and why it matters. There's people like Margaret Atwood, Mary Beard, Erica Benner, Aditi Mittal, Elif Shafak, and Yuan Yang. Anyone from like the Prime Minister of Croatia to this woman with an 80s aesthetic background in her house in Mumbai. And we've all written essays on why democracy is important to us.
Nice.
This was actually, so I did a short film with Financial Times, okay?
And
so then I went to London this time because we did a 6-day long, a 6-show book tour, because then the books came out of that. And so we were screening the films and we were talking about the book, right? And then we were doing these
was the
self-reported
film
panels.
a part of the project, or it just happened to
because I think the films got some traction. Like they really liked the films, and because I think, the films also were like, it was me, Margaret Atwood, Lola Shenian from Nigeria, and another very important person, Elif Shafak, and so we did these 4 films, and then they got some traction, and then Profile Books in London was like, can we put together this book of essays on democracy? And I mean, I think they've bought it to India under Hachette, but I bought this book when I was there. I was like, Naisa.
As so is this available in the few bookstores that are left in India?
Yes, yeah.
That are not selling toys, those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
saying Hamleys or what? I hear you say Hamleys. I
It,
hear
it
you
is
say
become
Hamleys.
like, because that's what sells no, now. So all the bookstores have become like that. It's either Sudha Murthy books or some romance novel or a sipper like this.
Yeah. Everyone's damn thirsty in these bookstores for some reason. Like,
So this is great. It's available in India, and can you send it to them like if there's in some other city other than
yeah,
Mumbai? How do
yeah,
we
of
do
course,
this?
of course,
Yeah.
of course. I've
Yeah.
got one DTDC courier guy who I'm very good friends with now.
Oh, very good. So, but then we should see a show of hands at least. ऐसा नहीं कि आपने बस free में आया तो ले लिया आपने. So yeah, so people in the chat, if you could just by a show of hands or just express your interest, and we will do this. Free book, nothing better to receive as a gift. Also,
Yeah.
many of the people here are readers. You see clearly on Friday night they are listening to us, so they don't have friends. So one,
I love this
one,
bell.
one
I
tradition.
went to the Guru Kotima house. I was like, मैं सत्संग करने वाली हूँ पुनीत के साथ. I went and got the bell. I was like,
तो अभी आया न्यूज पे, अभी चला था कि 12 बाबा जिनका अभी तक पर्दाफाश नहीं हुआ. हम लाइक व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, लाइक 60 सीट कम हो गया और ये लोग क्या दिखा रहे न्यूज पे. मीनिंग बेसिकली देयर वाज because earlier like बाबा को बोलने का नहीं, बाबा म्हणजे off limits, no matter
obviously,
what he does, right? And you see
obviously.
these weird, have you seen these videos of the babas doing the weirdest thing? Like there's one baba who will stand on top of your baby to make him better. Like it's a small infant, okay? And the baba is standing on him एक पैर से. And so compared to that, तो हम सिर्फ सुपर चैट ही ले रहे हैं. तो स्पीकिंग ऑफ
But
सुपर चैट,
there's that one thing, no, कि बाबा के पास जाएंगे तो जिनको बच्चा नहीं हो रहा, तो फिर बाबा के पास जाएंगे तो बच्चा हो जाएगा. Yeah, because your baba's your wife. Like, what is up? How are you so like? It is mind blowing.
I
It's
guess
mind blowing
even
that that's not what you're putting together. Like,
see even that comes under placebo effect only. I think it's also placebo effect. Mahesh Parab has sent a super chat saying, CFBR Guruji, looking forward to reading the essays he is talking about. In a few years, democracy will remain only in books read by none.
मत
Oh,
बोलो, मत बोलो, मत बोलो,
yeah,
मत
we can
बोलो,
send
मत
the book to you
बोलो.
because you're abroad, but maybe you can get it yourself. Is called Democracy. Is
Yeah.
that the title? Title, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Democracy, 11 writers and leaders on what it is and why it matters.
11 writers and readers. All right, that's the. Oh, can you give us the link also, just in case for the other people?
Yeah,
We'll put in
yeah.
the chat. Yeah.
I will put the link in the chat. Y'all, but I mean, so I went to this, I got to tell you about this. Oh my God. Like, I hope nobody is listening. I mean, people are listening. I'm going to shut up. But what happens is we go for this book festival, okay? And it's this book festival called Hay Festival, and it's huge. Like, it's unlike anything I've ever seen. They've occupied, like, Hay Festival is a book festival that's on Google Maps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's a festival on Google Maps. It's so far out in Wales, somewhere where like the only thing in mass quantity is sheep. Okay, you are looking at sheep, and then next to that they put up these tents and stuff where they're book festivals, panels, talks,
yeah.
and then this massive bookstore and everything. I'd go do one panel, okay, and over there my short film is called In That Top. Okay, the
Yeah,
short film
I've
is
seen
about,
it. Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
sure, huh? So it's
Mm, mm.
basically one girl is leaving the house and her father says, "Where are you going in that top?" And then
And the
film
father is
proceeds.
also you, right?
Yeah, yeah. That was the budget. Yeah, that was the budget
Yeah.
of this film.
Yeah.
So now, and I think I'm well known for my political inclinations,
Yeah.
to put it nicely.
Mm.
On this panel, this woman turns to me, the panel ka regulator turns to me and she's like, "Look, Aditi, I know you don't agree, but ever since your dear supreme leader came into power, actually a large swath of people have risen above the poverty line."
Who's saying this?
The regulator of the panel,
Who's a Brit?
I can't say. I can't, like, I'm telling you, I wish I could fucking say who it was because
Well, Gora at least, no? Gora.
no,
No.
it
Achha.
was a Middle Eastern person who
Okay.
has lived a very good life.
Okay. Okay.
And then they're like, and they're a highly important person. They're a highly important person, like in very high position of power. And then they turn to me and say, I know you don't agree, but like a large swath of people have risen out of poverty since your supreme leader took power. And I said, okay, I guess then, like, we can all be well fed, but terrified, to ask for anything else, because that's all that
Nice. Yeah.
matters. And, does it like, would this question be okay to ask for the UK? Like, that, oh, individual rights are being trampled on, but at least you guys are like minting cash. Would it be okay to turn this question around and ask it about UK? And then audience starts clapping, and I'm such a whore for audience clapping, because then I was like, also, I mean, since we are, in the business of news right now, I mean, how much, and if we're trusting everything that comes out of, the statistics and
So,
figures,
yeah.
then somebody also recently said that inequality is higher than it was right now than it was during the time of the British. So you tell me, like, and I just threw it back on this person. But I was mind blown that that was the level of discourse we were having.
But that means that they scream so loud that the press release ka talking points have reached that far, no?
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
this is a person with a substantial amount of power in
Yeah.
a media space.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh. And then afterwards, somebody told me I should have been more polite, and I was like, I doubt it.
Nah, nah. Also, now they're calling it multi-dimensional poverty, whatever that means. And on that front, yeah, but you know how much fudging is happening in the numbers. And besides that, what you said is so on point, no, that what is the point of being well-fed if you're living this life of being in utter terror? Like, so no dignity.
लाइक बस खाते रहो, खाना खाते रहो, क्योंकि गोली भी खाने का टाइम आएगा. But बस keep eating till you can't
So,
fucking think anymore. I don't understand. Like, I was so stunned that somebody on that level on that platform was saying this stuff. And Elif Shafak was on this panel, okay? Dude, I'm telling
yeah.
you, I'm so amazed. Like, I always think that, like, oh, you have to be really fiery and you have to be really, like, especially in India, we love our, like, befitting reply culture, na? Everything is a befitting reply to a befitting question to a befitting reply. Did you befit from that reply? And
Yeah, yeah.
but to see someone like Elif Shafak, what a woman. And she was so soft spoken, but like her point, like every time she made a point, the whole audience was just like hanging on to
Who is
every
this
word.
person? She's a writer. She's one of
She's
the head of
she's an
state
author. She's an author.
author.
She's a
Okay.
Turkish author. She's like multiple award winning Turkish author. She's, I think, one of the best selling authors in the world right now. And she's, the book that I think everyone has read, the 10 minutes and 38 seconds. Wait, I think I have a copy of it also somewhere. I can't remember. It's a long title.
Hmm,
Um,
hmm.
and then she has another one recently called The Leap of Time. But again, just such a soft spoken. She's a Turkish author, and now she lives in the US or in the UK because Turkey has
Yes.
Turkishness.
Yes.
Um,
Akhand Turkey is
yeah,
happening.
I can't Turkey.
I put a link to the short film here. I'm also right now sharing the link to the book. So this is
Oh
the
my god, they're the
Amazon
best.
India.
Yes.
This is yes, we should definitely do this. So Amazon India का link यहाँ पे. If you're
Thank
abroad,
you.
I'm sure you can find a e version of the same book, right?
Actually,
It's
the publisher sent me a link. I'll actually put that
yeah,
in
yeah.
the.
Put that. Yeah, you can
Sorry,
put
I
it
got
here.
carried away with telling you a story, and then I fucking didn't realize I was looking for a link.
No problem. People who are just joining in, do hit the like button so we can reach more people this Friday evening. Souvik Bakchi is here. He's saying, who is a better painter, Salman Khan or Mamta Banerjee? What?
Asking the important questions. Yes, yes.
I think that the sand sculpture guy in Bhubaneswar is the better painter.
He's damn good. Okay, he's really damn good.
Dr. Mrs. Luchuke for a bit. Wow. Okay. Sean Pinto is here. A fan of Luchuke. Aryan Shivastava is from Delhi. Okay. Chaitanya Bhandari saying hello from Japan. क्या बात है? Konnichiwa.
Arey, Chaitanya, listen. I may be in Japan again in August. If I do show, you'll come over.
So I heard from the little I know from NRI friends that they are playing cricket wahan pe bhi. So and then they
Yo,
like
they are
this.
fucking playing baseball. They're playing baseball in Japan.
So Japan also very big in pro wrestling. No, they have their own pro wrestling. Like, which is
Wait,
even
sumo wrestling?
weirder. No, pro wrestling like WWF, like no, but weirder. So it's their own style. So it's fake, but they still hit each other as hard as they can, and they have the weirdest gimmicks, and it's a spectacle. So and because
Oh, that
usually
I
you see,
didn't know.
are Japanese people in general when you see them on the road, like the general people, are they all very thin and lean? Is it like they
Yes,
can't tell the
yes.
age kind of a
Dude,
thing?
you know, it is yeah. Oh, first of all, like I was staying at an Airbnb where this lady, I was like, oh my god, she's in like her late 50s, like that. She's
Yeah.
75, okay.
Oh.
And dude, you know, one thing that really like blew my mind. So I was staying at this really old lady's house,
Yeah.
at this her Airbnb, and she used to roam around all day. She had it's a tiny cottage on the edge of Tokyo, and she has a salon called 1,000 Cuts, and and all the haircuts are for like 1,000 this thing,
Yen.
okay. And it
Yen.
was very cute. And so I was staying in one room. She had one room over, and was giving that out on rent. And then there was this other lady who was living on the top room above that, and she was a translator, a Chinese lady who is a translator. Okay, so then I was having a blast because I would just tell this Chinese girl everything, and she would tell this old lady everything, and I fell in. Her name is Mayomi-san. I fell in love with her. Then now I'm like, oh my god, she's so dependent on my Airbnb fee, because so sweet, so old, so poor, etc. On the last day, okay, I was there on Christmas. So then she's like, hey, what are you doing on Christmas? I said, oh, I was just planning to go to like walk around in the market, just to see what Christmas is like in Tokyo or whatever. She's like, oh, do you want to go to the onsen? And so I was like, okay, what is an onsen? An onsen is like a public bath, okay, where
Okay.
you just go nang badang, okay, and you hang out, and they have 7 different kinds of pools. They have a saltwater pool, they have a bubble water pool, they have a hot water pool, they have a cold water pool. They have 7 different kinds of pools, and you just keep dipping tap 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 karke in all of them, right? Now, this is some shit that rich people do. Like, this is some shit that I've only heard of royalty doing, okay? She takes us, and then while we're going inside, I'm like, this place looks really expensive. And so I turned to that Chinese lady and I said, should I pay for the Yuki-san? I said, Yuki-san, should I pay? Like Yuki-san's like, don't worry, she can afford it.
Okay.
And I was like, what? I was like, but she roams around like such a garib, with a permanent apron and one comb stuck in her hair like this. And she's like, oh, she's made some investments.
Um, and was it
Wild.
expensive? You had to pay to get into this.
It was
To the,
25,000 yen a person. And that's about 12,500 bucks a person.
ooh. And was it fun? Like, and they're all naked inside, like
Yeah.
सार्वजनिक नंगापन चल रहा है.
Yeah. Dude,
But
there are kids also. There are kids also. So, I mean, they have male and female sections
men,
different.
women separate. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But like that normalizing of the human body
Yeah.
in, not only for the purposes of fucking or reproducing,
Yeah.
I was the first, me, I'm such a freaking deep down inside, I'm a Indie only. So I was like, मैं तो बिना पैसे के किसी को नहीं कुछ भी दिखाऊंगी, la. And then it just became so obvious how relaxed everyone was. I was like, I look like a fucking fool. And so then I just like, you go in there, first you have to take a shower because you have to be clean because you don't want to dirty the water. You take a shower, then you just go sit in pool, and then you leave.
Fun? Yeah.
It was amazing. It was amazing. Like, I again, just the whole culture of like being so comfortable in your body that you're not horrified. Like, oh my god, मैंने नंगा इंसान देख लिया. Nothing. And then she took me also. So I was like, पैसे भी नहीं देने पड़े.
So Chaitanya has told you that I'm honorary secretary of Indian Chamber of Commerce in Japan. I live in Kyoto. Let me know if you need any help regarding visa or any other thing.
Oh my
There you
god,
go.
Chaitanya! Amazing, thank you. That's so
Yes.
kind.
So I guess next step is please DM on Insta and
Yeah.
take it from Great. We got who else do we have? Shavik is here. Parag is here. He's saying I'm in the US and we have loads of cricket teams around here. It's all Telugu people for some reason.
Ask
Question
where
from
in the
Gaurav.
US. Ask where in the US.
Yeah, where in the
Because
US?
that
That
will
one.
show why Telugu people.
Yeah. Gaurav Dimri is asking you, what was your biggest takeaway about democracy while you wrote the essay for the book? Yeah, fair question. Like, what is the general theme maybe when you wrote on the book, like जो आपने लिखा है
Yeah.
उसका, what is like the blurb for that maybe?
You know that it's not perfect and it never will be, but it's not something that we should stop aspiring to.
Yeah.
It's like it's the same thing as like, are you a good person, or are you like, a good friend or a good partner or a good whatever? You're never going to be perfect, but is that not what you should continue trying to be?
Yeah, it's an ideal
That's
state
what.
that you keep aspiring to, but you can't
Hmm,
let go of it because the options are
yeah,
all worse. Isn't
yeah. Listen, but can I tell you, like, I was doing this bitching about democracy tour, okay, where I was like, "Kya democracy ne main land maar ke rakhi hai."
it?
And then that morning, okay, I wake up and I see the election results.
Yeah.
And I walked into this meeting, and people were like into this panel thing, and I was like, "Hey guys, so I have spent this entire book tour bitching about democracy, but I think it may work. I think it may, like, because I'm telling you, I was sitting in London, I heard 50 million buttholes unclench when those results came out.
You
Okay,
were there, June 4th, you were there, what?
I was in London. I was in London that day. I was not at home. But you like, and again, not for any particular purpose, but yeah, opposition. We have an opposition now. Bah.
Yeah, yeah. And I think the right wing is not getting it. Ki why are people celebrating on that side, even if they lost? But that's the point. It's not about winning or losing. It's about having balance. No,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
don't get that. It's like all or nothing. I
That's how I was
think.
like, देखो संगी होते हैं और फिर सत्संगी होते हैं. I'll stop
Oh,
it there.
hey, that could be our tagline, dude.
Satsangi is amazing. Dude, yeah, you should call everyone who streams or comes for your streams is a Satsangi.
So Shavik is asking you, why are you sitting on the throne? Dude, this is my 80s aesthetic, no? This is I'm like the cheap villain in an 80s movie, sitting in this lair. So
First of
like
all, stop it. No, 80s movie villains are way bolder. And like, the laugh is not it's not this warm, friendly laugh. It's a much
it has
more
to be
evil
off.
laugh.
Oh yeah, almost comically evil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So fuck yeah, you got it down to a T. So dude, you did Japan. I forgot about London, and then you did US also, all within like 1 year.
Yeah, yeah.
And how did US happen?
Dude, so now US happened. I'll be honest, I hate this fucking job because you go there and then you're like, I need to get into a new market, right? It didn't happen. I made it happen.
Okay.
And luckily my brother lives there, right? So I don't have accommodation ka issues. And since I was already in London, I said, let me go meet my mother was saying, ki bhaiya ko aake milo, bhaiya jaake milo. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I can go meet my brother, but also then I'm gonna fucking try and put up a show, right?
Okay.
Because like I'm realizing nobody US may, unless you are a promoter, unless you're hooked up with a promoter,
Yeah.
you and then you're doing auditorium where after the show he'll come and ask you, "Aapko Russian ladki chahiye ki nahi?" And give you like a fossil watch or whatever. I can't. It's just unhinged, okay? Um, and so I was like, that is not my vibe either.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so that's why I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this myself. I got in touch with West Side Comedy Club, which is a room that I had gone to previously. I'd done like spots and stuff in there. I
Hmm.
said, hey, listen, I'd like to put up my own show. What are your this thing? So then they were like, please send us your resume, send us all your best videos, yay, wo, and all, because they're also very particular. They're like, we're not sure. My satsang, she doesn't care. So and then they said, send us your videos, yay, wo, then get recommendation. So then I got recommendation. And then they said, okay, fine, we'll give you this slot. And the split is 50-50. But all the shit has to be done by you. Like, we will list it, we will host the ticketing thing, but all that shit has to be done by you. And dude, मैंने मतलब अपना गान घिसा घिसा के किया वो show.
So you were
But
going anyway, and you did a show while you were there.
yeah.
But you need a
I mean,
visa
actually,
for that.
technically, I put the fucking show up, and then I said, The guy said,
Okay.
"Bhaiya, I'm coming to meet you."
But you ended up spending money, right? I mean, out of pocket for the whole trip.
Oh, of course. The US part though is it's all my money. And you know, the one thing I'm realizing, so then because my show, like I started doing a bit of spots idhar udhar also. And they told me, and then they said, okay, why don't you go audition for some clubs? And over there, dude, it's a very, like, they have 5, 6 clubs where tickets are sold out 1 year in advance. It doesn't matter who the comic is.
It's
People
a
are
sold
coming
out
to see comedy. Yeah.
1 year
So
in
there's,
advance. What?
yeah,
Few
yeah,
months in.
1 year in advance. And
Okay.
so I auditioned at a club called Rodney's. I
Hmm.
auditioned at a club called New York Comedy Club,
Oh.
and I passed through both the auditions. Like, it's a little bit of a system where you have to still go kiss rings, where you still have to be like, hey, you're a producer or you're the programmer, and thank you for letting me perform at your venue. You go, you kill, you come back, you say, hey, thank you so much. I hope that the next time I'm here, I'll be able to come by and do a spot. And they're like, oh yeah, of course you'll be able to do, come by.
So when
It's
you
very
say
funny or
audition,
whatever.
how does that work? You go and perform
They just
in
put
a
you on a
smaller.
spot. They put you on a lineup. They put you on a
Okay.
lineup and you just don't have to eat shit. That's the bare minimum.
Wow. But I'm sure you have your set ready to do abroad because you've done so many countries in the past, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
use that one like your best set,
Yeah.
like Dragon Ball
Yeah.
Z, and just
Yeah.
fucking threw it. And yeah.
And then I was talking to people in the middle and all. I'll be sassy and all. Dude, because American market na, it doesn't matter. तुम हो गए अपने घर पे भैंस आदित्य मित्तल, ठीक है ना? We don't give a shit. We don't give a fuck. Okay, even we had to audition for Comedy Cellar. In
Yeah.
fact, I was like, yeah, I want to audition for Comedy Cellar. Comedy Cellar, you have to get 2 recommendations. So then I
Yeah.
went and I didn't, it made me realize the kind of people I'm friends with are exactly like me. Because a friend of mine, is a regular at the Comedy Cellar. So I went to her, I
Hmm.
said, Lisa, can you please give me a recommendation for Comedy Cellar? And
Hmm.
she's like, Aditi, if I give you a recommendation, they will actually probably not let you audition.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know what the वहाँ का क्या कलेश चल रहा है.
Yeah, yeah. They, so,
अरे.
so she was like, Abdi, she's like, oh, you're the only person that I would do it for and all. She's like, but I'm afraid I'll hurt your chances if I'm the one recommending you. I said, okay,
Oh
fair enough.
man. But
Fair
this
enough.
thing better system than here. But then here we don't need that system because we're still new, right? They do it
Yeah.
because it's so evolved as a market, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. I mean, and also their gatekeepers are in place, no? Their
Hmm.
gatekeepers are in place already. Whether it's like the head of programming at something, something, and the head of programming at something, something. And you really have to just, like, if you get a spot, your job is just, if you don't fucking kill, you're fucked. So go kill your whatever 8 minutes mein, abhi
Yeah.
Bhagwan kare ki, you can survive 8 minutes on stage without
Yeah.
thinking too hard.
Yeah.
Um, and then you go kill, and then they'll give you the time of the day. They'll give a shit about who you are.
Wow. So
Yeah.
even we, if we had to audition, then you, despite Netflix, would have to go
Yeah.
through the hoops, I
Oh yeah,
guess.
yeah, yeah. They don't give a shit. They don't. तुम हो गए अपने देश में. यहाँ पे तुम
Hmm.
कुछ नहीं हो.
Hmm. So our friend Chaitanya from Japan has sent a super chat saying, Punit bhai, when are you visiting Japan? I watched your videos even when I was in Olympic Village in Tokyo Olympics. Oh, I was a team coordinator of Team India at Tokyo Olympics and Paralympics. So this is a subtle flex by Chaitanya.
हाय हाय.
But thank you, man. I'll
Punit चल. Shall we go
जाने
in
का.
September,
How
August,
how
September?
expen how expensive is it though?
From what I hear, so what I
Hmm.
know is कि December के time पे, especially because it's dirty cold, they actually things are very cheap. I mean, and especially considering the yen is half of rupee,
Hmm.
it's actually very cheap.
For us, people like us, is it?
I mean,
No.
not very cheap, but like, so I did
Hmm.
my whole trip.
Yeah.
I got there and I got paid X amount to do the shoot also.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
getting there, getting back, and then I stayed. It was a 2 day shoot. I was there for 25 days, and those 23 extra days, I think I spent a total of 12.
Okay.
Like a good, like, I mean, you think about it, it's kind of like Bandra, right? Where in the most busy part of fucking Tokyo, they'll
Yeah.
have a ramen and a beer for like 1200 yen. And so
Yeah.
that's
So
like about
just
600 bucks. And you're
so
like,
yeah,
ye to
that's
yahan
like
pe,
this Bandra. So he's living in
haan,
Bandra for 20
haan.
days.
Yeah, literally.
Well, I'm still recovering from my Australia tour because I also did what you did and I stayed for 50 fucking days because
It's all kangaroo bingaroo and all you went over.
सब किया ऐसा, लेकिन वो था the same thing, if not now then when. So
देखो
yeah, so
देखो देखो
I did
देखो.
all the cities they told me not to do. I went to fucking Perth also. I did New Zealand. Then on the way back I did Singapore. It became so long. I actually started missing Kandili for the first time. I thought it will never happen in my life. Like not possible. But yeah, after 15 days, I'm like, fuck, let's go home, dude. ढोकला खाने का है. ये नहीं हो रहा मिस. But
कोई मेरे को
अभी
थूक नहीं रहा यार. It's very lonely.
yeah, and it was so clean, it was hurting me कि इतना साफ सच में गुस्सा आ रहा था. How can it be so clean, dude? So it was great, obviously, whatever we saw and everything. But I think I said this on the live before. A lot of my friends have been there for over a decade, right? And they wanted me to come over, and I've never been. And now it's time for them to come back almost for various reasons. So they're like, "Ab to aaja." So finally, when I went, because now they're all close to menopause, so they want to come back.
See, dude,
Yeah,
Puneet,
even
it's
the
all your
men.
female friends. All of like everyone who is a female friend of yours ends up going abroad.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's a curse or it's a boon, but yeah. So they had planned everything कि ये जब आएगा तो उसको ये सब कराएंगे, तो there was no time to sleep only. The moment you wake up, like पुनीत ये देख, ये फोटो निकाल, ये मुंह में ले ले. I'm like, dude, अभी ब्रश भी नहीं किया है, but so they had the entire itinerary planned out, right? It was so hectic. I'm like, ये इंडियन लोग ही कर सकता है कि like getting so stressed while relaxing also. Like,
Oh, dude,
so
that sounds adorable, actually. How lovely,
yeah, it
dude.
was. Yeah, they planned everything out for me, and but it became stressful in just the immensity of 50 days across. Like the time zones changed so many times. I gave up on the watch. किया ये तो छोड़ दो, ये ऐसे ही पहनता है. मैं like
इसको
ये
क्या
कड़ा
पता?
है सिर्फ.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I finally entered Melbourne for the second time, it finally said the right time again after like a month because of all the jumps that I had happened.
Wow.
So
Even a broken clock is
I
right
need
twice a
to.
day.
Twice, exactly.
Wow.
So I mean,
Wow.
yeah, LinkedIn is also right twice in a year, I guess. So, so I need to recover from that. But Japan, I want to see and make sure that it actually exists, because whatever you see is so fantastical. No,
Hey, dude,
everything
say I'm
about
saying August. Sorry, we'll talk about this later. August, September,
uh,
देखो ना.
but August is like right here, almost here.
जाते हैं ना. क्या ही है?
तत्काल टिकट और महंगा पड़ेगा ना नहीं.
You know what? Let's find out, because there are these very bad tickets which you sit in Vietnam for 12 hours and all, but then they're very cheap. Uh, and and there is something called Tokyo Comedy Bar over there, which is obviously run by a white guy, where they do English comedy.
Okay.
And that's again bang in the center, like again bang opposite the Bandra station of Tokyo. I don't know why I'm giving these comparisons, but
All right. Yeah, we will talk. We'll talk.
nah,
Yeah, Tokyo. Fuck, Chaitanya is our new best friend now. Yeah, friendship with Jamie
yeah,
over. Now new best
yeah.
friend Chaitanya.
Shaking hands with Chaitanya.
Tell us about US, dude. Like you performed with the star there, right? What's the name?
Zarna, dude.
Zarna.
Dude,
Oh
Zarna
man.
Garg. So can I tell you, I
Yeah.
knew Zarna
Yeah.
Garg 2018, okay, when
Hmm.
I was the famous one. I was
She
the
was.
famous one. She saw
was
me and said, "Wow, Aditi, I am such a fan." And I was like, "Aap to batao." But she was amazing. So I remember 2018, I was performing somewhere. I was doing like a documentary film shoot in LA, and so I needed some spots before that. And so there was one comic in the CCD days called Pruthvi Raj. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah.
So
He's in New
Pruthvi
York now,
Raj,
right?
no, now he
Yeah.
moved to Canada.
Canada.
And
Okay.
so I was talking to Prithvi Raj Purohit. So Prithvi Raj said, "Let me take you to." It's not Prithvi Raj, guys. It's Prithvi Raj.
Prithviraj.
So,
Yes.
so
Yes.
Prithvi Raj took me to
Yeah.
this club, and then he was like, "Meet this lady," and I met this lady, and dude, she was amazing. Okay, she was so kind and so like, she's like, "You want spot? Pick 7 spot. I love your comedy.
Ooh.
Just do it. Aram say whatever, right?" So I did lots of spots. In one room she was programming, and then and that time only I knew ki, she's not. She doesn't work normally. She doesn't work. She's not disgusted with ourselves, with the craft, with comedy, with the world. Nothing. She is single-minded, focus ki kaam karna hai, right?
Okay.
Then we were planning ki, acha, we'll meet. And then during the pandemic, she blew the fuck up. Okay. वो ऐसा TikTok video लगा के Instagram. Now I was looking at her, her social media's posting schedule is 2 reels a day on TikTok and 2 reels a day on Instagram, and they're all four are different.
So she was a club runner before that, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Acha, but not a comic.
No, she was trying to do comedy, and there was like when I saw her the first time, she was like it was the first month that she was doing comedy.
So you had met her in person that time,
Yeah, yeah.
pre-pandemic, and now she's fucking a star, right?
She blew the fuck up, okay? But it's also like, dude, I'm realizing I don't have that in me. Like I will not record a reel. I will not. She like boom, do this reel, fatak 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 karke post it. Like that. It takes a. I think I'm too indecisive. I can't decide what is a good shot to put where. Oh no, I could have said this different. I should reshoot this. She's like, I don't have time for all this. And so her story is actually fantastic, right? Apparently, her daughter
Hmm.
sort of was the one that in her statement of purpose, what you write when you're going to college,
Yeah,
her
yeah.
daughter wrote a thing saying, I want to help my mom be a stand-up comedian, because my mom has done everything for us and for our family her whole life. And so, I want to help my mother become a stand-up comedian. And it's a really well written letter. Like it was published in the New York Times. That's how good it is. But like she really Zarna blows the fuck up. She also like sometimes I've tried to have this conversation with her. I'm like, oh, that one stole that one's joke. And she's like, I don't care. I'm like, really? She's like, I'm not interested in bitching at all. And she's like, absolutely not. I don't give a shit. I don't have time for this. I'm nearing 50 soon. I have work to do. And I'm like, I need this energy for the next 10 years of my life.
Yeah, but then first you need to get married and get a couple of kids. And
Dude, she has,
then,
I was telling you this, she's given birth to her own production company. Her one son holds the camera, the second son is editing it, the daughter is posting it.
yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, nepotism done right.
Yeah, correct, dude, correct. And dude, when we went, she like I was opening for her on a couple of shows over there. She sold out NJ Pack, right? It's like selling out NSCI.
How big is that? How big is that? Like a few thousand.
3,000 seater.
Ooh.
And it's like in her own neighborhood. So ye bhi nahi ki like, it's a faraway place. That's why 3,000 people have shown up. No. Dude, I'm telling you.
She's a celebrity now, legit. She can't go out and buy dhania now, right? She can't go out and buy.
And nobody's buying dhania in fucking. But one thing that she was teaching, that we were talking, okay, and I was like, look, I love money, but then I hate fucking, like doing work or whatever. So she's like, so she said something to me that blew my mind. She said, Aditi, look, why the fuck should anyone leave their house for a joke, right? They can Google 1,000 fucking jokes, and that's that. Like they don't need to leave their fucking house, She has these meet and greet tickets afterwards where she like individually talks to them, remembers them. This is the 11th time I've come out to watch your show. I'm like, what are people doing, right? She's like, I want to give them an experience. And so I make sure that my every fucking show is an experience. And I'm like, yahan pe hum bina nahaye show karna jate hain, like it's.
Yeah. So she meets people afterwards. I get that. What else? Like, is the show different and like a different, like experience wise, kuch hai alag aisa? Any element or any vibe that is different? So, am I stuck or is Aditi stuck? Hello. Guys, if you can still hear us, check. Yeah, I think Aditi is stuck. Guys, if you can see me still, can you just put a thumbs up in the chat? Oh, yeah, I think she dropped off. While we're at it, let's just say hi to our friends before she joins back. Sean Pinto Singh, Aditi is like, all right. Bharat Ramchandra also is confirmed. Hamisha is still here. Hi, Hamisha. Thank you for coming today. Gaurav Singh, OGs of Indian comedy. Actually, Aditi much more senior to me. I'm more second generation. Aditi was part of the first wave of stand-up comics. Suhail is here. Hey, hi, man. Okay, let's see if she's messaged. क्या हो गया? 30 मिनट चला गया लगता है. Okay, I'll keep an eye on it till that time. Let's look at the chat, what all we got. Hamza is still here. Uh, Indian internet in the rains. Well, even I got stuck many times before, so I can't really preach today. I'm still on Geo only. वो भी hotspot पे. So just to reiterate, while we're at it, two shows in Mumbai this weekend. If you're in Mumbai, do come. इसके बाद मैं ज़्यादा प्लान कुछ किया नहीं है. Uh, एक मिनट आदित्य. I can't see her in the. So two shows in Mumbai, Andheri tomorrow and Powai on Sunday, and online show next weekend. We're doing Guilty Bystander. That's the show, and can join from anywhere in the world, as you know. And it's 9 p.m. I think on Saturday, so it's pretty much a good time from almost anywhere in the world, I guess. Just give me a second. Okay. Okay, she's got stuck somewhere. Aditi will be back in some time. Can take a few questions in the meanwhile from our Satsangis who are here. Do like this stream if you haven't right now. Shavik had asked earlier, my gym trainer caught me eating vada pav today evening and I asked him to give me a diet plan yesterday. How should I face him tomorrow morning? It's a great question. If you guys follow the stream, you would know the right answer is to not read Dostoevsky if you have a gym trainer around you. But you can tell him it was like brown bread, vada pav, or something like that. Some saving grace. Mahesh Parab, two-party systems at best lead to polarization in this era. Voters, fans are invested in party over country, ideology over humanity. Yeah, we sort of seen that already, like at the national level, it always like BJP versus Congress largely. How to start as a stand-up comedian? Good question. We'll let Aditi answer that. Yes, Singh, Indian Railways has just boarded a train from Jaipur, which was delayed by half an hour. Now the irony is that Jaipur was the source station. Wow. I think you should conserve your battery, although charge तो हो ही जाता है आजकल ट्रेन में भी. Uh, क्या सिस्टम इज आस्किंग क्या किम कर्डाशियन का अंबानी वेडिंग में आना संस्कारिक है? ओ या ग्रेट क्वेश्चन. आई है क्या वो भी? आई गेस जॉन सीना कैन कम तो किम भी आ ही सकती है. गौरव शर्मा आई सेड इज द करंट गवर्नमेंट कॉन्स्टेंटली इन क्राइसिस मोड सिंस द री इलेक्शन एवरीथिंग फॉलिंग अपार्ट और आर दे बीइंग स्क्रूटनाइज्ड मोर? They were being scrutinized earlier, just that the people scrutinizing them, which is the opposition, was not getting as much airtime. Now they are. No, it's like you can see the difference clearly. Of course, they fucked up in so many things over the last 10 years, but the fuck ups would never come up on the screen. That's the difference. Did you watch Kalki? नहीं dude, मैं कोई फिल्म नहीं देखा बहुत टाइम से. Uh, System is saying system asked about Kim Kardashian. What else have we missed? Which is more satisfying, performing in India or abroad? See, I don't have much experience. I only performed like this last trip and then Dubai before that. So, from my experience thus far, I would say India, but overall, not sure. What is Aditi saying? Okay, in. Let's see, where is she? Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yes, yes, we are back.
Sorry,
अरे,
sorry.
yeah, गुरुजी की कृपा से internet has been restored.
हमको तो पता है.
बट या 80s में इंटरनेट आ रहा है वही बड़ी बात है.
ये like
So
एस्थेटिक भी नहीं, इंटरनेट स्पीड भी उतना ही है.
But Aditi is always like dressed to kill. Dude, I have seen the wardrobe is expanding. Like,
Thank you.
yeah. Are you giving it away? Or are you becoming a hoarder now? What are you doing with all the stuff? Like, where do you keep it?
Listen, so I'm a Sindhi, let's face it. We have a hoarding issue because we were refugees. Okay, that's my whole
Ah,
thing. Is that, our people have had to abandon so much and move on in life. And so now, as it is my duty as of this generation to just keep like pajamas in my cupboard for so long that the nada breaks. Like the nada, the elastic just wears out.
wears out. Yes.
Yeah, even the perfumes that have been in the family now for generations, because it's just crystals now. It's just crystals. It's
Ah,
not even anything useful. It's just old purana pajama, sellotape. I have, dude. Wait, why am I telling you this? I have a copy of, I can't believe it's on the tape. Brunch HT
branch.
from
Ooh.
January 19, 2014. It's just like it lies in my house, just like that, just like that.
Oh man,
That's
it's
just the kind of
yeah. Sometimes my mom said the Sindhi people बोलो सिर्फ गू को फेंकते हैं, बाकी सब संभाल के रख.
disgusting. And so true. And so true.
Oh fuck!
And
I
so
forgot
true.
about brunch, dude. Brunch is still around. No, it's not
Can you
around now, right?
believe? No, no, no,
Yeah.
no, it's not.
Oh man, 2014 that too, when we got
Yeah,
independence
dude.
finally.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. When India started aspiring to Bharat.
MIGIT Instruments has asked how to start a stand-up comedian. Please share basics. So then, isn't this right candidate for your workshop? Is it?
Yes. Oh
Yes.
my God. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. It's called not Crash and Burn, right? That's if I remember
Crash,
correctly.
burn, and learn. Crash, burn, and learn.
They're still on, right? Did you do it once in a while?
Yeah. So it's actually on 27th and 28th of this month.
Oh, okay. Close enough.
Yeah. Hey, listen, yeah, if you're in Bombay, MIGIT, if you're in,
Then
I don't
yeah.
want to say the word, apparently it's inappropriate. Like, I don't know, it's politically incorrect to call someone a midget. Anyway,
Uh,
so 27th and 28th of this month of July, if you're in Mumbai, go to book my show and it's called Crash, Burn, and Learn. Please sign up, if you're into it.
okay. This is in person, not on Zoom, right?
No, 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 in person, in person.
Okay, so if you're in Mumbai, this is the place to start. If not, then open mics are the way to do it.
Yes.
But if you're not in a major city, then just dance on reels, dude. That is a better chance
Then you will
of
sell more
making.
tickets than him and I
Yeah,
combined. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
Then we'll come
yeah,
and open for you.
yeah. Gaurav Sharma is asking, is there any English word for the disgust we are feeling while seeing this coverage of Ambani wedding? Good question. There should be a word for it, right? It's so grotesque. And it's so vulgar and it's so just the magnanimity of I mean, how big it is, the scale.
The magnitude.
Yeah, magnanimity is not a right word.
I feel, yeah, I mean, that's such a good thing to say. Because I mean, have we seen, I'm sure through history, we have seen vulgar displays of wealth.
Yeah,
There should be a word for it, no?
yeah. It is a Roman circus for sure, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Yeah, yeah. Especially in this country, where the disparity is so high. And then people are saying कि उनका पैसा है तो तू अपने घर पे कर तो थोड़ी कोई पूछ रहा है ये this is like sticking everything into public's business where like roads are being diverted you
Yeah.
know
Kim
and
fucking Kardashian showed up.
yeah
Why? What is she? Like, I want to understand also Kim Kardashian को करवाएंगे क्या stage पे? Like, is she
her
gonna do, if Kim Kardashian does bole churiyan na,
करवाए
I
करवाए
may just start liking the Ambanis. I don't know. It's just-
बट यही फ्लेक्स है अपना करा करा के कि क्रिंज काम करवाया किसी से ये अपना फ्लेक्स है एंड
Dude,
एंड जॉन सीना इज हियर dude वो कुर्ता पहन के आया बेचारा और उसको अपने सब ये जो सब लोग हैं ना फोटो खींचने वाले बोले बोले ए जॉन 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 ये सब चले
Yeah, John Babu. They were calling him John Babu and
जॉन
John Babu and
जॉन
John Babu. I mean, so here's my thing, right? Everything is a spectacle. I am a conspiracy theorist through and through. So what is this distracting us from? Right?
yeah
Because
yeah
I will say this, during Jamnagar का अभी वो इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट हो गया, अभी पता नहीं क्या क्या हो गया, अभी जामनगर को उठा के अपन स्पेस में फेंकेंगे. I want to understand, at the same time, there were all these stories about, massive shipments of drugs coming in at all the Mudra ports.
Yeah.
And my first question was, how can I get, anyway, what my first question was, can I have some? And second, why is Jamnagar like suddenly, this distraction of this shosha where all the security forces are now into making your airport an international airport? Where is that security being taken away from, and for what?
Yeah, and they made it into some, like just for him, right? For a
Yeah,
few days, or was it like
yeah,
permanently?
for a few days. For a few days.
Wow. Just flex. No, at this point, it's just flex.
No, it's not even flex, because flex is when you actually do something nice and then you're like, oh, by the way, hey guys, I recently, uh, got $500 or whatever. This is just like rubbing it in the face.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there was no need for Kim Kardashian to be here. I can get that. वो ऐसा Justin Bieber आके नाच के गा के जाएगा. There's that great video of Anant Ambani, like, trying to take a picture and telling him to look at the drone for a camera shot, and Justin Bieber
Yeah.
looks at him and goes, "Man, I gotta go, man." Like, it's
Ah.
damn funny. Yeah. He's like,
Oh,
I
man.
think we've taken all the pics. I gotta go, man. I was like,
Oh, sad. Yeah, and it is cringe.
you know
Gaurav is
what?
saying,
Ironically enough, I think that
uh,
it's very cheap. It's very cheap.
but it's like how, on the Marwari weddings, they get Russian women to come and dance, no, and welcome you at the. वही है ना, उसका एक थोड़ा higher version है.
ऐसा
Yeah,
किम शर्मा थाली के साथ,
yeah,
किम कार्दाशियन थाली के साथ.
yeah. So we had one of our satsangis asking, is it even sanskari to get Kim Kardashian? Like it is an Indian wedding after all.
Also,
Uh,
listen, I would like to spread this rumor. I don't know if it's a spreading of rumor, but like, I don't think any of the Indian artists that are performing at this wedding are getting paid.
So I heard from one of the musicians who knows me that she said कि बुला लिया है बस पैसे का बात नहीं हुआ है, and like you can't say no to this kind of a call, and you assume that but they do pay well is what I heard. No, our boys performed, no? EIC performed at the house, remember, in the living
Yeah,
room.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and they did a Ambani song also apparently. कुछ तो उनका भी, अरे उन्हीं पे joke किया वो लोग, तो I think they will pay. But it's such a weird, the power distance is so high, just a weird feeling, weird place to be as an artist also.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, like, I feel the existence of billionaires is against
Yeah,
humanity. Like,
yeah,
you cannot, nobody's been a damn good person and amassed that level of wealth.
yeah. I mean, yeah,
Nobody.
I'm all for competition, but come on, they are not like a billion times better than, if
That's
that's
a
how you
great.
want to.
Somebody said, Radhika Merchant re-wore some outfit from recently for another event. And somebody in the comments wrote, क्यों? मैंने तो 100 रुपए का recharge किया था recently.
Yeah. Which is the exact same super chat we just received from Richik Mujumdar. He said, did Jio recharge plans increase due to Ambani wedding? But I
Yeah.
was saying Vipul का video आया इसके ऊपर, stand
हाँ,
up video, and he
हाँ.
sees like कि what they are spending is 0.1% of the net worth. बोले
Okay.
तुम लोग अपना नेटवर्थ का 40% उड़ा देता है शादी में लोन लेके, तुमको शर्म नहीं आता तो भी. Great.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
it's a great joke.
Amazing.
Yes, it's only,
Amazing. Good point.
yeah, only IITN could have come up with this joke, but yes, but it's true. No, if you look at it that way, the so the question then is this: ki, like a normal person having 40 types of mukhwas, is that more vulgar, or Kim Kardashian coming? Is
But okay, Puneet, what is your opinion on this? Is going to be controversial, but like, what is your opinion on? Because I feel like we are in a society that has matrimania. It is,
yeah,
we are obsessed with marriage of any kind.
yeah,
Kaise bhi, kisi ka. Um,
yeah.
what does that say about us as a people?
One is that we have very little to celebrate otherwise. That's what it is. कि और कोई बहाना ही नहीं है सेलिब्रेट करने का. तो जो ये एक मिल रहा है ना, completely sanctioned by religion and society, उसमें नंगा नाचो भाई, उसके बाद नहीं मिलने वाला है. एक तो वो है, और दूसरा लाइक दिस द जोक आल्सो व्हिच आई डू इन माय शो कि मैरिज इज टू सीरियस इन इंडिया. लाइक 7 जन्मों का मिलन वाला सब है यहाँ पे चुपचाप.
Yeah,
Abroad is a partnership. If it doesn't work out, you go into the next partnership, like the
yeah,
next angel
yeah,
investor. But yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, it's because religion makes it that big, I guess. No? So you keep carrying it forward. Plus, now like this is occurring to me as I speak कि also यहाँ पे वो ना कि अपना वंश आगे बढ़ाना, lineage आगे बढ़ाना है, वो that's a
हाँ,
caste is a big thing, no?
या कि प्रॉपर्टी
कि
किसी और को ना चली जाए, तो
yeah,
इसीलिए
so I
पैदा
guess
कर लो
it,
अपने।
so immediate inheritance तो वहाँ पे भी है कि who will leave all the wealth behind to. That's why maybe the no Elon and Brad Pitt have like I don't know 7 8, they lost count how many children they have, but they have
या
like yeah. But I think यहाँ पे वो भी कि अपना caste आगे बढ़ना मांगता है, like my gotra has to go on. So
हम्म
then it becomes even more important. So as all of these things take precedence, the individual का what come important. Individual is a prop in this whole circus. इसका शादी हो रहा है, he is just a prop, no, उसका like dislike desire कुछ नहीं है.
You know, it's like that Baba standing on the baby's back with one foot.
Yeah,
To see,
yeah, literally. Yeah, you're the baby in this, and then I sometimes wonder कि कितना pressure है ना to perform on the first night after all of this fucking dance and drama.
yeah.
Would you not have performance anxiety? क्या इतना इतना लोन चढ़ गया बाप के ऊपर अभी.
अब तो करना ही पड़ेगा
Yeah,
तू just
yeah. Now तो पलंग नहीं टूटा तो फिर पैसा वापस चाहिए types. Too much. I think too much pressure, no, and then too much pressure to make it work also, no. So
yeah.
the divorce rate is still 2% only in the country, no, because
Why?
poverty.
Because I
Yeah.
mean, like 3% also will get murdered. You know, ऐसा domestic violence
हाँ
में
वो
दहेज
अलग
नहीं दिया
कैटेगरी, no,
वो।
there's one category called dowry death, वो अलग कैटेगरी पता है ना
Yeah,
आपको.
yeah, yeah. Of
Yeah,
course, of
so
course, of
it's
course.
it's
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
legal term almost,
You know,
but
but
if you look.
I love domestic abuse as a term. कि मतलब घर तुम्हें मार रहा है, ये नहीं कि तुम्हारा पति तुम्हें मार रहा है, घर
Yeah,
से उड़ती
yeah,
उड़ती हुई चीजें तुम्हें मुंह
yeah,
पे मार रही हैं, तुम्हारा
yeah.
गला घोट रही हैं. House abuse.
Domestic,
Very,
yeah,
very,
it's a
yeah, very,
broad term.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, it's a nice term.
yeah.
But if you look around in your own friends in Bandra, no, then it looks like every second person is getting divorced, which means that the top 1% is living the US life already. No, but
Yeah,
just
oh, for
the top,
sure.
yeah, just the top 1%. And then you say that is lack of sanskar? No, it's just that now you have option. No,
Yeah.
if the other people had the option in your other generation, your parents, they would have left, dude, long back.
You know, can I tell you one thing I'm seeing a lot around in the men around me is that like they are seeing how badly their mothers were treated,
Yeah,
and are now sensitive to that.
yeah,
Like they are realizing the shit that their mothers had to put up with
yeah,
by not only their fathers but also their grandmothers. And it is
yeah,
such a conflict where you're like, I loved my grandmother. My grandmother is the best person alive. I mean, you know, she loves me so much.
yeah,
But also she was a shit to my mother.
yeah,
How do you like reconcile? And I've seen a lot of men grappling with that, like, you know, men of my generation grappling with
yeah,
that question.
yeah. But see, that one for me is easy. It's just that it's trauma that has been inherited. No, it's like the same way the college kids rag the juniors. No, it's that.
Yeah. हमारे साथ हुआ तो तुम्हारे साथ भी होना चाहिए.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost the way of the world. Like so, like there's another line from one of my shows where I say कि सास और लैंडलॉर्ड को हरामखोरी सिखानी नहीं पड़ती है, बनते ही आ जाती है. का कोई कोर्स नहीं है.
जैसे ही या जैसे ही.
Yeah, so it's almost like they feel that if I'm not shitty to her, then I'm not doing my no duty. कि फायदा ही क्या हुआ बेटा पैदा करके types.
या
So
अगर किसी बेजान औरत
yeah,
के ऊपर सर के ऊपर तांडव ना करूं
yeah. And
तो.
maybe you can argue that this is also ingrained sexism in a way. Like it is ingrained
Yeah, of
sexism
course,
in
of
a way.
course.
Yeah.
But you know,
So
one thing I'm realizing is that, you know, these people who are like, if it was so bad for me, why shouldn't it be this bad for you? You will learn. Um, is that clearly then it was like they're like, oh, I turned out fine. My mother used to beat me and I turned out fine. And therefore
mm,
every other generation after me should get
yeah,
beaten up.
yeah, yeah,
Clearly you didn't turn out fine if you thought that getting beaten up is so normal that everyone should get
yeah,
fucking. I don't know. I feel like we're just passing on our dysfunction generation
yeah.
after generation.
So again, to quote from my own show, one line,
I,
one line is that any trauma that goes unaddressed ends up being a fetish. So
yes, yes,
yes.
yes.
So Yeah, because otherwise, how will you live with yourself? No, that how am I this? Everything that defines you has to make sense. No, otherwise there's dissonance. So
Yeah,
if getting beaten up or abused was a big part, and not just like kids being any kind of abuse, no, then
yeah,
only way to surprise, to live with that is to somehow make it make sense.
yeah,
So, so there is this story in one of Carl Jung's books, no, which is like this one of the many stories, but it is so disturbing that there was a girl who a patient that he chanced upon in one of the hospitals, Carl Jung in Switzerland or wherever. I think it's Switzerland, right? He said that that girl was kept in the basement of her house for decades by her father, and she was abused, and she did not see the outside world for decades, right? So in her mind, she built an elaborate fantasy that she's actually on the moon somewhere, and a prince has kept her there for some reason, and he comes and visits her once in a while. The prince is the father, obviously. Now, unless she built this cycle in her mind and started believing it, she wouldn't survive that kind of
yeah,
abuse. So, in a way, it's the beauty of the mind that it's so malleable that in the most unimaginable and hellish of circumstances, it can still find a way to survive. But it only does show by sort of going insane compared to the normal, I guess. No, but then in her scheme of things, that was the only way she could have survived that hell. And a
mm,
small version of that you see around you every day of people who say, "Are baap to marta hai, usme kya hai?" No,
yeah,
I think it's that. No, it's like a spectrum of that, and you can only be like empathetic towards it, I guess.
yeah,
Unless you're on the receiving end, then I say fucking give it back to them.
yeah. Dude, but
Self-preservation comes.
even that, because I mean, there's so many like victims of, and I'm a trigger warning, of course. There are so
Hmm.
many victims of sexual abuse
Hmm.
who later on exhibit extreme promiscuity
Yeah.
because they realized that the only time that they felt validated or noticed was when they were being sexually abused,
Yeah.
and so now, they sort of end up
Yeah.
not seeking it but justifying it when it
Yes. Yeah.
happens,
Yeah.
because they're like that is the only time. I mean, the human mind is a fantastic, amazing thing. The world is a fucked up fuck all place.
Yeah. And the two are related, I guess, to each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Shivam Sharma has sent us a super chat saying, "आज का गुरुजी का quote." Okay, he's quoting the trauma wala quote. It's
अरे अरे
it's
गुरुजी 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 गुरुजी
it's
I love this.
So it is in one of my newer shows. The line where because in that show now I'm talking about violence and trying to get to the root of it. Where does it come from? In a place like what we live in. Of course, finance. Sorry, the I was saying violence is everywhere, right? People in country like us who's poor, they are violent more directly. Other countries are violent in subtler ways. No?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like America hates its citizens. America hates
yeah,
Americans. Okay.
yeah,
Like the way I met someone there, and so there was this lady who I used to travel. I used to take a bus and go into the city every day.
yeah.
To do sports or whatever. And then there was this lady I would see on the bus every day. And so I started talking to her, and she was a Venezuelan photojournalist who, and I mean, of course, her English was also very limited.
Okay.
She sort of left Venezuela because she was in trouble. She came to the US
Hmm.
and she thought that she would apply for a job or something.
Yeah.
On her third day there, she broke her foot in three different places, and then spent now she's on her fourth year of paying back $158,000
Ooh.
loan for the operation on her foot, that because it was three bones that broke, and so they had to put some
Ooh.
screws and all.
And she
$158,000, and she had
didn't have
nothing,
insurance. Yeah, no
nothing.
insurance. God. Yeah.
And that country, like, it literally feels like they hate their citizens. They want them to die. Like, you are one cold away from dying. What?
Yeah. But then the thing is कि I'm sure they have their problems there, but उतना गरीबी दिखा क्या तुमको भी वहां पे when you were there? नहीं ना?
Not nothing,
Yeah.
nothing, dude. Income. I'm telling you, when a white person comes to beg, I to feel like, I'm like, Bhai Sahab, please, can I have some? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a bit
Because
disorienting.
even the poor people, they don't look like they're poor. They just look like they're going through a phase in their life.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
this
Dude,
is this.
and they come and ask you for change in a really polite manner. They'll be like, hey, listen, I'm going through a
Yeah.
tough time right now. Can you spare some change? I mean, and one thing that I'm telling you, I realized when I first went to the US and then came back, I was in the US for like 4 months ऐसा करके कुछ तो मैं कर रही थी वहां पे प्रोग्राम. I came back, dude. I was not prepared for how crazy it is
Yeah.
when someone comes to your window and starts saying, I need money, I'm
Yeah.
hungry, right?
Yeah.
And then everyone in the car around you is rolling up their windows instead of reacting to that. I'm like, oh, fuck. Wait,
Yeah.
we're in trouble or what? Because clearly
Yeah.
this person is more in trouble.
Yeah.
But it took only 4 months for me to not see that, like to see a life so comfortable and so lavish, even for the
Yeah.
most poor person, that when I came back, I was like, the senselessness of the violence that we are now attuned to, or
Yeah.
we're like used to, is insane.
Yeah. Because this, how else will you survive in this country? Like, if you don't shun it out beyond a point, if you're genuinely an empathetic, I feel that it's not even about being empathetic. Actually, I think everybody has a limited amount of empathy they can share on a
Mm.
given day, and you'll run out till till you take a walk to the station. वहाँ तक खत्म हो जाएगा.
Yeah.
But now that you this particular year you went to different countries, every time when you come back, is it harder? Does it hit you hard when you come back?
Uh, actually from that time onwards, it never stopped hitting me. I think
Yeah.
from that time on, the first time that I realized the difference, or that I realized, I was like, fuck, we're rolling. Like when I was a kid, I used to keep telling my mother, okay, like, mommy, if someone had come to the window, I'd be like, mommy, give money, mommy, give money, mommy, give money. And my mother would get like, I mean, obviously my mother, because I'm a child also, would constantly be like, I don't want her worldview to be corrupted in that way.
Yeah.
Um, and then my sister-in-law came, and they were at Golden Temple in Amritsar.
Yeah.
And my sister-in-law came with my 6-year-old niece. And then my niece said, Mummy, why can't, because there were kids outside, the Golden Temple, and they were begging. And my niece was like, Mummy, why can't they come home with us? Like, and then my sister-in-law had this like major sort of like existential discussion with a fucking 6-year-old. The parenthood sounds like a nightmare. I don't know. I would not know how to explain to a fucking kid
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
you deserve these things and why somebody else doesn't. I
Yeah.
don't know.
And she was too young to be given that conspiracy theory कि ये सब लोग का गैंग होता है.
Yeah.
ये लोग ड्रग्स करता है, इससे मत दो. यहाँ इनका कार्टेल होता है. Too soon to say
इनका
that.
एक्चुअली ना इनका 3 फ्लैट है
Yeah.
मरीन ड्राइव पे, and you're like, man, what? Is everyone okay?
Oh. Zaid Patel is one of our frequent flyers, has just punched in and he has said, I'm in US for the first time. To quote Guruji, biggest achievement in our country is to leave
Is
it.
to leave India. Guruji, 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 Guruji.
I think we should get a Ghanti ourselves.
Yes, 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 you should.
So,
You get one of the big ones though. Like every time you say something, why stun? Like it
oh
should disturb
my,
everyone in your building. You know what I'm saying? Like
my mom always worries that eventually I'll become that Raju guide, from the last scene of Guide, where he doesn't want to become a saint, but they force him. They force him into it. बोलता है नहीं यार मैं तो हीरो है. बोलता है नहीं नहीं तेरे को मरना पड़ेगा.
for
So
the people, for the
yeah,
people.
and it's so easy, just like Raju guide, you say some random shit कि दूर कहीं बारिश हो रही है. बोलते हाँ हाँ, he is factually correct. कहीं तो हो रही है.
हम वापस
So
मेलबर्न में आके सेम टाइम,
yeah,
अमेजिंग, घड़ी फिर से चलने लगी.
at least you're not flat earthers, at least.
चलो
Uh,
bare minimum.
yeah. MIGT Instruments, who earlier asked us about stand up, is saying he's agreeing with what you said a little while back, that some people have seen their mother suffering and because of that are understanding the importance of women as a wife. Okay. But even for those modern couples, you want to call them that, then they discover that now that we are free, now we can fight with each other directly and they still end up in a divorce. No proxy wars now, direct war. तो
या या
उसका
अब
तो कुछ नहीं कर
डोमेस्टिक
सकते.
वायलेंस हम खुद करेंगे.
या उसका कुछ नहीं कर सकता अभी. So, because if you have your own agency, if you have your own views, then eventually with that much freedom, you
Yeah.
can't live together. I think after a certain age, that's why they say that you marry early or you don't marry at all. No, because if you marry early, then you don't have opinions yet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're not pliable. to
Yeah.
somebody else.
Yeah.
This is, and I remember asking a friend of mine who, and he wasn't even Indian, he was a Finnish guy. And I was talking to him, and he, he's a major producer. Like he does all the Finland's Got Talent or whatever, ka producer, right? And I'm
Yeah.
talking to him, and he's, we were just hanging around, and then he said, "Oh, my son is coming." And so now he's got this fucking strapping 15-year-old son, right? And I'm like,
Hmm.
fuck, I didn't even know you were married. And he said, "Oh, yeah, I've been married for I was married for many years. And then, I had this son, and now, I've decided to just live my life, whatever."
Hmm.
And I said, "Oh, why did you get married when, if you were that young?" And especially because there's no pressure, like Finland, especially,
Yeah.
nobody's forcing you to. He's saying, because it's just what you do, right?
Hmm.
And I was like,
Even in even in
oh,
even in Finland.
yeah, it's just what you do, right? And then I said, and then he's like, and actually, you know what? We stopped getting along after we got married. But, and then I said, then you still had a son. And he's like,
Yes.
because that's what you do.
Was
And I
he
was like,
like
okay.
Catholic or something?
No, not
No.
even remotely.
That's okay. I think there are all kinds of people everywhere. No? We just go with the stereotype. And
Yeah.
Shavik is saying once a beggar asked my dad for money and he called him Anil Kapoor. So he gave him rupees five rupees and said, कि अगर अमिताभ होता था, I would have given you 10. We got a super chat from Shom Shuvro Chaudhary. Yeah,
Thank you,
he's
Shamshura.
yeah, he's from UK. It seems he's been here before. He says, why do NR Browns, which I guess is NRI is
It's a
yeah,
great fucking term.
NR Browns ignore others like pests. When I see someone brown, I smile. They ignore me like the plague. Ah, this
But
yeah
because
I
you're taking up the place that they think
uh,
that they need to
yeah
occupy. It's that one thing, no,
yeah
ki, matlab they, especially brown people, like I've realized I used to get damn insecure whenever my white friends would have another Indian friend.
ah
I was like, I'm your token Indian friend. What's
yeah
happening? Who
yeah
is
it's
this other
that
Indian person
it's
you
that
know?
yeah
But
you know
it is that you show up now, you're from your dirty cousin from the pin, and now you're smiling and all chi 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 chi, disgusting. I like my white friends would not smile. See this man.
I had this observation in Australia and also New Zealand that when two brown people cross on the street, they give each other a look, and that's the look that two convicts give to each other outside jail once they meet. Like a knowing glance, but they won't smile, but it's something else, it's some other emotion. It's like I knew what you did last summer, kind of a
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure you did some. Dude, there was a guy who faked all his certificates and his father's death to get admission in some college in a master's program, and then faked his father's death to get a scholarship. And then, like a moron, wrote a whole post about it on Reddit, and that's how he got caught.
wow. On Reddit of all
Yeah, on
places.
Reddit.
Yeah.
On Reddit.
Shit. There's message from Gaurav Sharma saying, Puneet sir, ask Aditi with her experience with AIB roast. Arey, it was his first time when I think I came to know about her and a fan since. Like, is that still something that caught your mind, or now it's too far in the past
Yeah,
to roast?
I'm such a different person, like personally also, professionally also.
Yeah,
And also, dude, I want to be known for something else. So I was
yeah.
thinking of releasing a sex tape, but like a reverse sex tape. Like I start it naked and then I
Yeah.
put on clothes seductively.
Oh, I never heard.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
might go big in Japan for all you know.
I, I start off as a blur, just completely pixelated.
Yeah, it's way in the past now, but then the word roast has stuck, right? And
Yeah,
we being Indians, we now think roast means insult करने का, गांड
yeah,
मारने का roast.
yeah. Dude,
Yeah,
and I think as Indians, so we especially love Gan Marna because we also have so much bhadas against each other.
yeah, yeah,
I have seen
yeah,
people that I don't know from anywhere, but when they are getting roasted, I am feeling happy. I'm like, why? I don't even know this person.
yeah.
Why do I feel this sense of like, "Chutiya kaat diya." Like, why?
So
I don't know.
एक तो सब this YouTube shoots, like who say they're roasting people, no, which is just they pick a topic or a person and they just insult him and बोलता है ये roast हो गया. मैंने बोला ये हो गया. So they don't get a concept of consent होता है roast में और वो
fuck
सब.
all consent, write a joke, yeah. Make it like,
Yeah,
oh, he is so old that, he was his first piece of art was on the caveman drawing. कुछ
yeah,
तो भी यार,
yeah.
कुछ तो भी ऐसा ना, वो तो लौड़ा चूतिया है, अरे वो तो बुढ़ी आंटी कुतिया की तरह भौंकते रहते. I was like, okay, I mean, yeah, but also what?
So more recently, the roast videos coming from Delhi, which Solanki is produced, are pretty good. But yeah, it is Delhi, so they are casteist without knowing it. No, so there'll be jokes like he looks like ये जामुन बेचता है, and you're like, fuck, this is so unaware, no? Because half the jokes
Yeah.
are that you look ugly, other half are that you look like a person who does a menial job. Like these are the two broad categories. तो मीनियल जॉब में क्या आता है कि लुक्स लाइक उबर ड्राइवर, ही लुक्स लाइक ये घर पे जो आता है ब्लिंकिट वाला वो लगता है, इलेक्ट्रिशियन लगता है, ड्राइवर लगता है, एंड
जामुन बेचने वाला.
जामुन बेचने वाला.
I
इट्स
mean,
जस्ट
you know what? 5 points for how niche that is. Like 5 points. The imaginative stretch towards jamun bechne wala, I appreciate it. But also, I mean, the casteist undertones are obvious.
yeah, and just like so blissfully unaware. Like I envy them sometimes. No, there's the
Yeah.
knowledge of awareness, the burden of
Oh my
awareness you have to carry
God.
along with.
This is the problem, Puneet.
Yeah,
This is the problem. Once you start seeing shit, you can't unsee it.
you can't unsee it. No, you can't. Uh, I don't know if I think that I had once done this joke that Delhi audience और Delhi comedian में फर्क बहुत कम है. It's like they exchange the mic once in a while. No, and such a great place to be, where there's no distance only. You and they are the same people. अपना ही आदमी बोल रहा है.
I'm
Yeah,
also
that
very
helps.
over relatable comedy. I don't want to relate to anybody. I'm done. I do not. I'm done. Like I feel like we are so busy, like chasing relatable that we have forgotten that we are all exceptional. And I
Yeah,
don't mean comics. I mean every fucking one of us, even art, any kind of art. People are
yeah,
so scared to fucking try anything because they're like relatable नहीं लगेगा, कोई पहचानेगा नहीं.
yeah.
यार तो कुछ बनाओ ना that confounds people.
But the problem is the algorithm. No? Insta has made a, there's this very popular clip from a talk show that keeps coming around, that all the cafes around the world look the same because Instagram has homogenized the
Yeah.
aesthetic. I
Yeah, I mean
think,
now there's also faces, na
yeah,
Instagram face it's called, where all the women are starting to look very similar,
yeah,
because everyone's got their lips done and their eyes done and their nose
yeah.
done, and
I think the same is happening to stand up also, no? किससे share आएगा, and it's not even a considered effort. It's just that the brutality of the algorithm is so overarching that you end up doing that. Like, no, I think even 5-10 years from now there'll be people coming in saying, "अरे Punjabis are like this." Or some guy saying, "college में हम लोग ऐसे करते थे," and even that has been done 10 times in the past, but वो अभी भी चल रहा है ना, because new people are born, sucker born every day types.
this is one thing that's scaring me about the internet, right? And now I am elder millennial, like I am now. I am
Elder
30.
millennial, yeah,
Yeah. I'm
yeah,
37 years old, okay?
yeah,
And what I'm realizing is that before the internet, we would all be in rooms where our social circles were largely people 5 + 5 or -5 years than us,
yeah.
right? The internet feels like everyone from age 12 to age 300 is in the same room. And that's why nobody, like, people are yelling about things that they have no idea about.
Hmm.
um I was watching one reel of this girl, and I mean, again, this is my Gen Z complaint, and I have no Gen Z complaints. Okay, I don't think they don't want to work and all. Fuck all. Who wants to work? Right? So the younger people are just there saying it more loudly that they
Yeah.
fucking think the workplace is a shit all place. Okay, I have no problem with Gen Z, except they feel like they are inventing the circle. I mean, or reinventing the wheel. Everything. Somebody was like, "Oh, indie music has never been popular. It was always under the shadow of Bollywood. But now the artists want to run, and so indie music must be supported." And I was like, "Babe, did you ever watch? Like, were you alive?" I mean, clearly she wasn't alive. She was a kid. But I was like, you
Yeah.
know what? We had indie music in the 90s,
Yeah.
and Bollywood fucking sucked it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bollywood co-opted that shit.
Yeah.
And so now, yes, it is up to the next generation, because I think we millennials let it happen, where now everything sounds the same. Like, Arijit Singh is miserable all the time, and fucking Shreya Ghoshal is consuming helium and singing all the time. And again, I love these two. Like, I mean, it's not an
Yeah,
insult,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just too much of it, the same thing.
yeah, same thing on loop over and over and over. And I think that happened with Lata Mangeshkar also, na, ki she sort of was very monopolizing, where she would tell directors that, oh, I'm not gonna work with you if you don't let me do the entire album. Like, don't take this singer, take me. I feel like
Yeah.
Gen Z acts like they are discovering the wheel, and that's the only complaint I have with Gen Z. But no, you
Uh,
guys are amazing. If there's anyone on Gen Z on this stream,
they, Sarab Johar, I said I'm 75, so clearly not. uh, oh, we finally have one person from men's rights activist has said, cartoonist Vikrant. Many girls feel whatever they chat inside hostel is stand-up material. Also, I mean, this is you're used to this over the years, but I think
yeah.
in
No,
in this
important enough.
yeah in the
He's
spirit of
saying that, yeah.
inclusivity.
God bless. At
Yeah,
least you know what? Honestly, the Hasna Tha Kya boys,
yeah,
the
yeah,
Hasna Tha Kya boys. I'm like, you please don't hand your emotions over to me. Like, at this point, you continue to give me too much power. Where I have cracked the joke now, you have shown up, and you're like, now should I laugh? मेरे को
yeah.
क्या? तू हंस, तू रो, तू मर, तू जी. What is the problem here? हंसना था क्या? And you know what I've realized is that because they're like, oh, this is so lame, but then they will also, like, if you go to any of my reels, no, there will be about 400 hasna tha kyas. I'm like, there
Acha.
are 299 right there. You could just like it and move on with your life.
Yeah,
But no, you want to contribute your hasna tha kya.
yeah. It's all
I find that
engagement.
amazing.
Yeah. So are
Yeah,
you at
come,
a
continue.
point? Yeah. You're at
Yeah,
that point where you can just ignore and move on, right?
amazing.
Yeah. Because same friend, cartoonist Vikrant, has also said that when will female comedians stop doing below belt jokes? The
Your
below
belt,
belt?
na, 1 second, your belt. Your belt specifically, I'll talk about. It's got pants underneath. Pants, which I feel like more women around you are wearing right now. Then, okay, stop. That's horrible. Aditi, you're such a bitch. Women are such bitches. No, Aditi, you specifically are a bitch. That's who I
I
am.
and I think Instagram and then Reels ke baad is increased only because I see all the female comics getting so much hate for just being there, just
Yeah. For
just for
existing.
being there, yeah, for existing.
Yeah.
I asked Aditi, I asked Prashasti this in Beyond the Laughs when she come on one of my podcasts, no, and I think she had the best answer, and she says that तुम लोग इतना लर्न किया ना 5-6 साल तक तब हम लोग को चांस नहीं मिला था अभी now is our turn. We
No, you
just
know what? Honestly, also, I feel like this is bullshit. It's like, oh my God, you're talking like you're in a girls' hostel, bitch. You haven't seen the inside of a girls' hostel, which is why you should be listening with more intention than
yeah.
anybody else. That you're dying to be in a girls' hostel. One, that. Two,
All,
men have talked about their dicks for centuries. Okay, there is caveman drawings. Okay, of fucking dicks. So don't act like you haven't spoken about this shit your entire life. The next 40 generations of women should talk about periods, boobs, bras, sex, periods. 1 second. Periods, 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 periods.
that's a meme right there. And then also, if you take out hostel talk, half the industry is gone. That's what the men do all the time.
Yeah, that's yeah.
That's
Oh
all
my
they
God.
do.
It's me, my friend Gunnu, and
Yeah.
Lallu, and Chitudu. And it's all dudes whose name ends with U. And then हमने उतनी दारू पी थी पता है उस रात
Yeah.
को. फिर
Yeah.
मैंने एग्जाम दिया, फिर लौंडी पटाई, फिर लौंडी ने एग्जाम दिया, फिर एग्जाम ने दारू पिया, फिर क्या.
Yeah. That's a good summary, I think. We got people asking about Jai Hind. Aditi, do you think something like Jai Hind series may happen in the near future?
Dude, whoever brought this up,
Yeah.
OG. You are the
Yes.
OG.
Yeah.
Dude, you are the OG. Oh my God, dude. People who watch. Did you watch Jai Hind, Puneet?
I remember the name, but I right now can't recall. There was some format show, right? format show.
Yeah, it was a sketch
Was,
show.
was Andy in it
Um,
at one point for a little bit?
yes, Andy was one of the
Ah,
writers. So
yeah.
Grover was the head writer.
Ah.
And it was produced by this guy. Fuck if I can remember his name. But he was brilliant. Okay, he was brilliant, and he was, I think he was sort of also like he was not wanting to work with the mainstream. He was like, we will
Okay.
produce this on our own. Okay.
Okay.
And it was a web show that was produced on the scale of a TV show because they would have like, I mean, that time, when they would have
Yeah.
faces and
Yeah.
graphics and stuff like that. I mean, it's
Ah.
not that it was not happening in India, but it was not happening at the frequency and level that
And
this guy
that too
was
for an
doing it.
independent production. Independent production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And many people came and were like, oh, we would like to fucking co-opt this. And he really hung on to it. And God, whoever asked, man, aapke muh mein ghee shakkar from your ears to God's, I mean, from your mouth to God's ears, because it was an incredible time, beautiful
Yeah.
writing by Grover,
Yeah.
and just that spirit of rebellion in comedy. Hmm.
Isn't it still there somewhere on YouTube? There are some videos from Canvas, right? In it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would. So there's a whole bit where I am so like I am terrified that if someone sees it right now, I will it's that.
Is this when one of the episodes like Andy comes in and says, now we'll all stand up for the national anthem of Kurla. And
Yeah.
then he plays that song Bombay Rickshaw Wala. And is that the one? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now I remember.
So there were, we used to do in studio sketches, but then there was
Uh,
this one event we did once, and then over
uh,
there, like again, it was, my I mean, this also prior to I think 2012, which kind of changed the world for me. With that December 2012, in Delhi, that with Jyoti, the thing that happened, right? Um, which was, I mean, the very famous, again, sorry, trigger warning, the very famous Delhi gang rape. I think that fucked up the minds of an entire generation of women. The
yeah.
kind of the mechanics of it, and I think after that, and after that, we couldn't unsee it. You couldn't unsee how unsafe, how unfair it was
Yeah.
that you had to live this life or you had to experience these experiences, which 50% of the population is either imposing on you or is not having and not doing anything about it. It fucked me up like
Yeah.
anything. And I know it fucked up a lot of women. Like I know a
Yeah.
lot of us who came into our own and realized that, oh fuck, this is the world we're living in.
Yeah.
After that incident.
When you look back at the early days of stand-up, now you can't change anything like what had happened, but do you still feel grateful that you're able to do this? Because it still seems like, fuck, how are we doing this in this country, right?
Can you believe
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Can you believe
I
it?
still can't on sound.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, it's on a bad day, I remind myself that, dude, just the fact that you get to do this in this autocracy or whatever it is, it's still amazing, right?
Autocratic democracy, babe.
Sorry.
Autocratic.
Autocratic democracy. RJ replies saying, "I love you, Aditi. I just feel connected to you on that reaction about Jai Hind because he or she remembers seeing that."
Oh,
Uh,
love you right back, RJ.
is there anything that people in India can catch you at, like any show you're doing
So
here?
I'm going to be at every Wednesday. I'm going to be at
Hmm.
Cat Cafe in Andheri. I'm
Hmm.
working on my new hour.
Okay.
It's called Bad Altitude. So please come by. I desperately need an audience for the
Hmm.
joke, just to see whether it works or not.
It's an entire new show.
Hanji, Hanji.
Okay, so people in Mumbai, Cat Cafe is the place. Warsaw, you know the
Oh,
place.
and also, actually in
Hmm.
Bangalore, I'm doing a residency at the at Bangalore Comedy Club on the week of Independence Day.
What is Bangalore Comedy Club?
So it's a venue on 100 Feet Road. And, what they do is, and what I've sort of like asked him is that, if I can come and do shows there. And then I said, but, we're flying back and forth to Bangalore gets really expensive.
Yeah,
And so I said, is it possible to do something where I come, I
yeah,
just do shows back to back?
yeah.
And he was like, boom, let's go. And
That's
so it's
that's
my Bangalore
interesting.
Comedy Club residency.
So 100 feet road is Kormangla, right? Is it? No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Kormangla. Okay.
You know Namit, Namit Jain.
Yeah, yeah. So that's just BLR, right? That's the club.
Hanji, yes.
Okay, just BLR is the club. That's Brigade Road then, isn't it? No. Can we
Yeah.
check the link somewhere?
Fuck. No, you know what? उसका लिंक अभी तक नहीं आया है. वो परसों
नहीं आया. Okay.
भेजेगा लिंक. हाँ.
Okay. Okay.
लेकिन
Okay.
week of Independence Day, I will be there.
So we
Please come
put
by.
Aditi's Instagram handle here anyway in the description. So that's where the update will be. If you're in Bangalore, in Mumbai, you know the place is Cat Cafe Studios. We'll also add the link to the book later into the description once the
Yes,
live is
please.
done. Yeah. And yeah, I think good note to end the satsang on. We covered so much ground. Yes. Yeah, we
Yeah,
went
yeah,
to
yeah. You
Japan.
know,
We went.
I'm shocked that so many like people have hung around. I'm shocked.
Yeah,
I thought people
yeah.
would be like, "Chalna, ho gaya man, तुम दोनों का." Like,
No, no, the most of them are regular satsangis, and
Satsang.
like I said in the past, no, well-read people have fewer friends, so this is perfect. Also, to keep with tradition, before we let you go, is there any reading list that you would share with our people? That any kind of books that you recommend to people that you'll be
I
reading?
am. Yes, yes. Oh my
Yeah,
God, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
yeah.
There is. I am currently reading One Ukrainian Summer by Viv Groskop. And in
Okay.
fact, I have a handle called at this.content creation, like this
Hmm.
content creation, but this dot, where I like, update the books I read. It's a
That's
relatively
great.
new account.
Yeah.
But like I've been trying to be more regular, and please follow that. So this is called One Ukrainian Summer by Viv Groskop. It's about this British lady who thinks she has Russian roots,
Hmm.
goes to Soviet Russia in 1993,
Hmm.
just 2 years before Soviet Russia ceases to exist. Okay.
Okay.
And she talks about, how Soviet people are coming to terms with the fact, and they're, of course, moving from a socialist economy to a capitalist economy. And I related with that so much because I'm an 85 born kid and I remember liberalization, right? I remember when suddenly ice cream had 31 flavors and fucking McDonald's was not a farm but a fucking burger place. Like
Yeah.
I, remember all those times, and it's crazy to me how similar the experiences are. Of like Soviet Russia turning towards capitalism and even India turning towards capitalism.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
There's so much in common, and then of course the most heartbreaking part of it is each chapter begins with like a word in Russian and a word in Ukrainian, and how similar they are. That because there are two languages from such a close geographical
Yeah.
boundary,
Yeah.
but how heartbreaking it is when two nations can share such incredible common language, heritage, culture, and then can still be at war with each other. And it reminded me very much of what we have with our neighbors. And it's very heartbreaking, but very, very like there's
Yeah.
one bit where she says, I had to explain to Russians that very famous Ace of Base song, all that she wants is another baby. She's like, it was not about her being pregnant. And I was like, oh my God, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
One Ukrainian Summer, please check it out if you
One
have the time.
Ukrainian summer. All right. And
Then there's
that link
also
to the books, is that can you share that here? That link that you
Hanji,
said?
yes, sorry. I'm gonna shut the
Yes.
fuck up. I swear to God, I've just been Genie. Um Yo shits. Listen, is it oh wait, publication date change and then social media materials and then Rolf remittance. Oh shit. Wait, please, sorry. Give me a second, you guys.
Yeah. Also, we have to decide who gets the one free copy of Democracy.
Yes.
So Doug Stanhope is nominating Hemisha, who's our regular from Bangalore, and also part of the Cyrus Says family. And I
Are
think,
amazing.
yeah, I think Hamisha does read, right? You read quite often. And she's one thing I know about her is that she stays at home all the time. So I think uh, she can
Wait,
read.
where do I put how do I put this on
Give it here in the chat in the Zoom and I'll paste it there.
I have not used Zoom in a while. I feel like
So there is
oh, there we
something.
are. There we are.
Yeah. Okay, while we are doing that, one more super chat has come from Richik Majumdar again saying, quoting Guruji about satsang, comedy करने का पर बैठ के करने. So he's from one of my sets now about motivation. I say कि my plan B is to become motivation speaker. But even if that doesn't work, I'll become a guru. That's plan C. तो उसमें क्या करने का सेम सेट करने का पर बैठ के करने का. So nobody which
Dude,
is
can I tell a quick story about a very
yes.
close friend of mine who, not close friend, like someone from, yeah, a close friend of mine who found Sadhguru, okay?
Uh,
And I guess nothing much is happening. And I don't know what the fuck is going on, but we were sitting there and then, you know, she's going on, Kila Guruji, no, he did this and he did that and all. And so then we're all sitting there and my mother and I are sitting there and eating something. And suddenly my mother turns and she goes, hey, this Sadhguru must be getting laid a lot now. And my friend turned, and I like the food fell back out of my mouth. I was like, oh fuck.
yeah.
My friend got so angry. She was like, how can you say that about Guruji? And da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And then my mother was like, Are yaar, see, listen, if that man had given you so much inner peace, now you would not get so worked up whenever anyone talked about his sex life. I
Oh,
died, dude. I
oh,
died. I
oh
was like,
man.
point to hai. How are you so agitated? Apparently, this man gives you inner peace. No, I put
Yes.
the video and I mean the link on the chat.
Yeah, but so this is the democracy book which I've shared for people abroad. Uh,
Ooh.
yeah, but what about that this content something you said where the reading list is there?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's on
yeah.
Instagram. It's on Instagram. It's
It's on
a
Instagram.
at
Okay, okay,
yeah, at this dot content creation.
okay, okay. All right. So people in Mumbai, people in Bangalore, you can catch Aditi live in the coming weeks. People
Please
in
come.
Mumbai, you can see me this weekend. And that's it from us. I'm doing an online show. I still do those Zoom shows. So yeah.
You are a fucking champion, dude. I don't know.
You had to hustle, dude. क्या करेगा? I had to get out from the 80s. I'm still stuck here. So, so that's next week my online show, and that's it from us today. We'll be back next week with a male guest, no, because who else is there?
ज्यादा हो गया, ज्यादा हो गया,
Yeah,
ज्यादा हो गया,
yeah.
ज्यादा हो गया.
So we'll be back next week with the next satsang, and so nice to see Aditi after a long time. We haven't met
You too,
much.
yeah.
Been following all your adventures, so great to see. And maybe Japan, inshallah. Let's see.
Yeah, nah, why
Yeah, yeah,
not?
yeah, yeah. We'll talk.
I'll
Two
message you.
lakhs. I have
Yeah,
to. 2
yeah.
lakhs कहाँ से निकालना पड़ेगा? Okay.
Oh,
Bye
yeah.
bye. Bye bye guys.
Bye,
Bye bye
guys.
guys. Okay. Now how do I end this today?